Today's news highlights. Time cutoff, 1700 hours. News headline, what is the cause of poisoning in Balan tea house? Are rice noodles and black fungus highly poisonous? What other poisons will be produced by the rice fermented acid toxin? Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, Health 2.0. News highlights, the food poisoning incident at Balan tea house has attracted public attention. 14 people have been affected, and 2 of them died unfortunately. Minister of Health and Welfare CLCO1 pointed out that preliminary investigations tend to be more likely to contain rice fermentation acid, a toxin that has caused serious poisoning incidents in other countries. Orizoic acid is extremely toxic, has a high fatality rate, and has no antidote. Supportive therapy has become the main treatment method. In addition, improper food storage or contaminated seasonings may also cause poisoning, and the public is urged to pay attention to food safety and hygiene regulations. Government experts are conducting investigations and looking forward to clarifying the truth of the incident. News headline, is rice fermentation acid responsible for the poisoning in Balan tea house? Epidemic investigation expert Himai Ziong, it is more likely that one case is extremely critical. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, Health 2.0. News highlights, the poisoning case at Balan tea house has attracted attention and has caused 2 deaths and 5 critical injuries. It has become the most serious poisoning incident in Taiwan in the past 10 years. The discussion focused on whether it was P. opuntia or P. oryzae that caused the disease. Experts pointed out that the 2 have the same toxicity target, but the breeding environment is different, which may affect the course of the disease. Studies have shown that P. opuntia can multiply in the human body, but that S. oryzae is unlikely to do so. In addition, the symptoms of the fatal cases are related to the ingestion of toxins, which may be related to the reproduction and release of toxins by the cactus bacteria. The results of the investigation will clarify the truth. News headline, does your belly get bigger during menopause? If you neglect one thing, beware of high levels in cancer. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Health 2.0. News focus, middle-aged obesity is prone to occur after menopause. This is due to the decline in ovarian function, which leads to a decrease in estrogen levels, thereby reducing the fat metabolism rate. Fat accumulates easily and basal metabolic rate decreases. Coupled with lack of exercise, menopausal women are prone to middle-aged obesity and increase their risk of high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. It is recommended to control weight through diet, exercise, and medication, adjust lifestyle, reduce stress, maintain a regular schedule, and avoid staying up late to improve the quality of life during menopause. News headline, it's going to get hot again. Meteorological Administration, there will be no cold air in the next week, and there may be heavy rain in the west on Sunday. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, United News Network. News highlights, according to the forecast of the Central Meteorological Administration, the chance of rainfall will increase in the north tonight, and the moisture will decrease during the day tomorrow. There may still be short-term rain in the eastern half of the northern mountainous area, and it will be cloudy to sunny in the south. From Saturday to next Monday, the front will approach, with localized short-lived rain or thunderstorms to the north, northeast and eastern half of the central area, and there may be local heavy rain in the western half on Sunday. In terms of temperature, it is 31 to 32 degrees in the north, 30 to 32 degrees in the central and southern parts, and 25 to 30 degrees in the eastern half. There will be thick fog in Kinmen area at night and early morning starting tonight, please pay attention. News headline, will I die if I save money by eating overnight lunches? Rice fermented acid causes panic. Expert, if you keep it refrigerated, you won't be afraid. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, United News Network. News highlights, the Polam Tea Hall food poisoning case caused panic, but overnight lunch boxes are not a hotbed of toxins. Yang Zhenchong pointed out that leaving rice for more than 2 hours is the key to the production of toxins. If overnight lunches can be refrigerated immediately, there is no risk. He warned that different foods produce different toxins, and a full refrigerator affects ventilation and can easily increase the growth of bacteria. He called for regular cleaning of the refrigerator and no more than 6 to 8 minutes full to reduce the risk of food poisoning. News headline, unique to Taiwan. Foreigners praise the breakfast restaurant's delicious toast. Gourmet reveals, sauce is the soul. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, United News Network. News highlight, the key to the delicious bacon and egg toast at a Taiwanese breakfast restaurant is the addition of Taiwanese salad dressing. The preparation method is simple, just put eggs, sugar, salt, salad oil, lemon or vinegar into a pot and beat until foamy, gradually add oil and beat until thick. It is also important to toast the toast until golden brown to add texture. Other must-try items at Taiwanese breakfast restaurants include hash brown eggs with chocolate sauce, ham, and egg toast, etc., which are even more delicious when paired with iced milk tea. News headline: 5 free stickers for Line are here. A must download for Big Bear, Big Bunny, and Rabbit Healing. Stray Dog Hook and other 2 brush strokes are super cute. Release time: March 28, 2024. Data reference: United News Network. News highlights: the third wave of limited timeline free stickers in March for technology players of United News Network is now available, including Line Mobile celebrates first birthday, the return of Big Bear and Bunny, Line Travel times Stray Dog Go, Line Shopping times Astudio.o, etc., with different styles and suitable for different groups of people. Please note that when downloading tasks, you can get them for free by joining the corresponding official account friends. These stickers are valid for 90 days, so don't miss the download deadline and come and experience it. News headline: electricity bills are going up. Is it too late to buy heavy electric concept stocks now? Insiders reveal the key points. Food, medical, and textile stocks are the key points. Release time: March 28, 2024. Information reference: Shangzhou Fortune Network. News highlight: Taipower plans to invest NT $100 billion to stabilize power supply construction, but the originally expected NT $150 billion may not be reached, indicating that electricity bills may rise even more in the future. The increase in electricity consumption for people's livelihood is not large, but those with more than 700 kilowatt-hours may face gradual price increases. Industrial electricity consumption will be fully increased, especially those with more than 500 million kilowatt-hours. The increase will be as high as 20% to 25%. Heavy-duty electronics concept stocks have been active. Investors should pay attention to the long-term positive effects of policies. Coupled with the increasing demand for electric vehicles, the Internet of Things, etc., heavy-duty electronics stocks may be growth investments. News title: 00937B and 00939 both have monthly dividends. What's the difference? Among high dividends and ESG, who pays better dividends? Smart ETF Research Laboratory. Release time: March 28, 2024. Information reference: Shangzhou Fortune Network. News highlights: recently, many new types of ETFs have appeared in the ETF market, including bond and stock types. Bond ETFs such as CUNY ESG Investment and other bonds 20+, 00937B, focus on long-term and stable investment, pursue ESG-rated bonds with high coupon rates, and adopt a monthly dividend and income leveling fund design. Stock ETFs such as Uni President Taiwan High Yield Momentum, 00939, pursue high-yield stocks, exchange shares only once a year, use quality, growth, and yield as stock selection indicators, and adopt monthly dividends and income-included level funds. Investors can choose suitable ETF investments based on personal preferences and risk tolerance. News headline: the second wave of Mercury retrograde in 2024 begins on April 1. Numerologists reveal the 5 worst affected zodiac signs. Cancer's career is not as good as expected, and the overall fortune of this zodiac sign is going downhill. Release time: March 28, 2024. Data reference: I Am the Biggest Woman. News highlights: under the influence of the second wave of Mercury retrograde in 2024, Sagittarius may be impacted by investment and buying and selling, and they need to handle financial affairs more carefully. Cancer's career performance may not be as expected, and they need to keep a low profile to cope with changes. Pisces must pay special attention to money management, to avoid impulsive behavior leading to financial losses. Taurus may have difficulties in self-expression and insecurity, so they need to stay calm and deal with it. Aries' overall fortune is affected, and they may experience mood swings and interpersonal crises, so they need to deal with various situations with caution. News headline: Qiangqiang's age-reducing bangs are so beautiful. If you want to cut your bangs, don't be afraid of failure. Let's learn what Korean girls love most in 2024, small bangs. Release time: March 27, 2024. Data reference: I Am the Biggest Woman. News focus: the Korean girl bangs trend in 2024 is mainly small broken hair bangs. This type of bangs is light and airy, which can not only reduce age but also modify the face shape. Friends who want to try cutting bangs can DIY it at home, and don't have to worry about the irreversible trouble after cutting it with a knife, because the effect of this bangs trim is very natural, and you can easily hide it in your hair when you no longer want it. You will never fail if you follow the video, and the effect will turn you into a Korean girl in an instant, returning to the youthful feeling of a girl. News title: 00940 takes action. Fighting against the devil of foreign capital, investors bought more than 23.8 billion yuan in a single day. Release time: March 28, 2024. Data reference: Economic Daily. News highlights: Taiwan's giant ETF Yuantat Taiwan Value High Interest, 00940, made a timely move and successfully prevented foreign capital from overselling. Today's statistics on the entry and exit of the three major legal persons show that foreign investors sold more than 23.763 billion yuan, while investment trusts bought more than 23.818 billion yuan, self-operated traders sold more than 260 million yuan, and overall sales exceeded 205 million yuan. The long-awaited 00940 position building action finally appeared in the market. The overbuying amount of investment letters was 23.763 billion yuan, setting the second highest record in the history of overbuying and the second highest since March 19. Although Taiwan stocks have weakened due to the decline in TSMC stock price, Honhai, Quanta, etc. performed strongly. Honhai once broke through 157 yuan, setting a new high since August 2008. News headline: Wistron chairman Lin Xianming revealed that this crisis is coming, not only the electronics industry, but the entire market will suffer. Release time: March 28, 2024. Data reference: Economic Daily. News highlights: Wistron, 3231. Chairman Lin Xianming was awarded an honorary doctorate today. He pointed out that the rapid development of global science and technology has led to the market demand for more talents, but factors such as the declining birth rate have caused a scarcity of talents. He believes that cultivating diversified talents is crucial, and said that the most important thing for companies is people. Lin Xianming expressed his gratitude for the support and emphasized that the enterprise has seen the necessity of introducing AI. If AI technology is not used in the future, it will be difficult to meet the challenges. News headline: Sandeo Monkey Rebellion, Finance Minister orders 8 major banks to trace the use of post-loan funds. Release time: March 28, 2024. Data reference: Economic Daily. News highlights: Finance Minister Zhuang Qiun instructed the 9 major banks to strengthen the management of lending to leasing companies, and specifically required the establishment of internal control regulations to prevent the misuse of funds. Regarding the excessive financial leverage among young people, she emphasized the need for ethics and mentioned the importance of ESG. Zhuang Qiun warned banks not to lend to borrowers with unknown interest rates, emphasizing the importance of post-loan management. The bank will strengthen internal control standards to prevent the misuse of funds and require review of the use of loan funds. In addition, she also reminded the bank to pay attention to the internal control management of subsidiaries and prevent information security risks and overseas lending risks. News headline: Worth 1.55 billion. No one inherits 1,178 square meters of land in the center of Xinzhuang subcity. Release time: March 28, 2024. Data reference: Economic Daily. News highlights: From April 1 to June 30, the new Taipei city government announced the status of overdue inheritance registration of real estate properties in 2013, involving 2,403 heirs, 13,195 land parcels, and 865 buildings. The value of unregistered land exceeds 25.6 billion yuan, of which Xinzhuang district accounts for 5.22 billion yuan. Those that have not been processed within the time limit will be listed and managed for 15 years. If they are not processed, they will be put up for public auction and the proceeds will be kept for 10 years. The new Taipei City Land Bureau reminds heirs to register as soon as possible to ensure property rights, and provides relevant consulting services and announcement information. News headline: Car accident on National 1 embankment. Top ramp car on the viaduct hit the guardrail and fell into the Keelung River. Release time: March 28, 2024. Information reference: Free Electronic News. News focus: 18 kilometers north of National Highway 1, a crash was reported at about 8 o'clock this evening. A car at the scene was suspected of hitting the ramp guardrail near the exit ramp at the top of the embankment. After that, the vehicle fell off the viaduct and fell into the Keelung River. Police reported at present, we have arrived at the scene, and the details of the case have yet to be clarified. News headline: The autopsy of the deceased in the Bailin case detected rice fermentation acid Wang Bishan. In the future, hospitalized patients will also need to be tested. Release time: March 28, 2024. Information reference: Free Electronic News. News highlights: The Ministry of Health and Welfare confirmed that in the poisoning case at the vegetarian restaurant Bailin Tea House in Xinyi District, Taipei City, the blood of an autopsy of a deceased person was found to be rice-fermented acid. The incident has involved 19 people, and 2 of them died. Experts emphasized that this is a preliminary inspection report, not the final result, and pointed out that domestic hospitals provide standard products for inspection. In the future, tests and investigations will continue to clarify the circumstances of the case. Oryzozoic acid is a symbiotic bacterium of plant root fungi. It is highly toxic and affects the energy supply of human cells and may cause organ damage. News headline: Rice Kuaitiao is suspected to contain rice fermentation acid. It is commonly found in 9 foods. Be careful. Release time: March 28, 2024. Information reference: Free Electronic News. News highlights: A suspected case of food poisoning occurred in a restaurant in Taipei City. 17 cases have been reported, including 2 deaths. Experts suspect that improperly preserved foods such as fried rice noodles may contain ORIZ toxin, which is extremely toxic to the human body and can be fatal in just a trace amount. The contaminated food has no peculiar smell or smell, including rice rolls, rice noodles, etc. To avoid food poisoning, you should maintain hygiene, pay attention to the freshness of ingredients, separate raw and cooked food utensils, heat food to above 70 degrees Celsius, and store food properly. News headline: The owner of the B&B said he was dissatisfied with the digital department's spending money. A long Facebook post was exposed before the shooting. Release time: March 28, 2024. Information reference: Free Electronic News. News highlights: The Digital Development Department was shot down today by a 54-year-old man named Zhang. He committed the crime because he was dissatisfied with the government's anti-China Taiwan policy and the digital department's expenditure. He posted a post on Facebook criticizing the government, full of hatred and dissatisfaction, calling the government incompetent and corrupt, and criticizing the Ministry of Digital Development for only feeling good about itself and wasting national resources. Zhang runs a B&B in Nantou. Last night he went north to stay at a Bangqiao hotel. This morning he went to the shooting department to shoot. The police found that he was carrying guns and ammunition and are actively investigating the case. News headline: Court appearance involving SBL match fixing. Wu Jiying's ex-girlfriend helped him place bets for free and complained, "I didn't make a profit." Release time: March 28, 2024. Data reference: Sanli News Network. News highlight: SBL Yulon player Wu Jiying and others were suspected of engaging in match-fixing betting. The case has been investigated by the Shilin District Prosecutor's Office. They were charged with violating the sports lottery regulations and other crimes. Huang Pingsuan admitted that he helped Wu Jiying place bets, but claimed that he made no profit simply because they were a couple at the time. The other defendants denied match-fixing and betting, emphasizing that they did not profit from it. The defender requested to summon witnesses to clarify the situation, and the circumstances involved in the case of all parties will be clarified after the court. News headline: Cowhide stocks explode explosively. Mr. 486, hurry up and sell more than 6 million yuan into your pocket. Release time: March 28, 2024. Data reference: Sanli News Network. News highlights: Chen Yancheng, the well-known group buying e-commerce company Mr. 486, started from scratch. He entered the investment market 5 years ago and made considerable profits by investing in Chunghua Telecom. He likes stable cowhide stocks. After holding shares for many years, the stock price of Chunghua Telecom surged yesterday. He took the opportunity to sell some shares and made a profit of more than 6 million yuan. Chen Yancheng said that although the stock price did not reach the expected 130 yuan, he was still optimistic about the future. News headline: There are many rich people. 7,000 people in Taiwan worth more than 1 billion hold nearly 40% of their wealth of 15 trillion overseas. Release time: March 28, 2024. Data reference: Sanli News Network. News highlights: A Wealth Insight report on Taiwan's ultra-high asset customer groups released by CITIC Bank pointed out that personal wealth in Taiwan is growing rapidly. In 2023, 7,000 people will have assets of more than 1 billion yuan, reaching 15 trillion yuan. It is estimated that by 2027, this number will grow to 140,000 people and 22 trillion yuan. The report analysis points out that high net worth customers have demands for issues such as cross-border investment and wealth inheritance, and their asset allocation and investment characteristics are different, which shows the diversity of personal wealth management. News headline: People are being fired and prices are rising. Well-known down jacket brand has laid off employees, fearing that more than 800 people will lose their jobs. Release time: March 28, 2024. Data reference: Dongsun News. News highlights: Canada Goose, a well-known Canadian winter clothing manufacturer, announced 17% of its global layoffs, and about 800 people will lose their jobs. The move comes as the company faces challenges, particularly due to unusually warm weather affecting demand for winter clothing. The company explained that the layoffs are to improve efficiency, focus on brand and design, and respond to changing market conditions. Canada Goose said that while the layoffs are heartbreaking, they are in order to achieve the company's strategic goals and believe it will help improve operational efficiency and save costs. News headline: The results of the cross-examination in the Bailin case were released, and it was found that rice fermentation acid caused coagulation insufficiency. Release time: March 28, 2024. Data reference: Dongsun News. News highlights: The food poisoning incident at Bailin Tea House in New Taipei City has attracted great attention from the society. As of the 28th, 2 people have died. Many consumers have become unwell, and some are seriously ill and need to be hospitalized for observation. One of the 39-year-old men died of septic shock, and the other 66-year-old man died of kidney and liver failure. The family hopes that the judiciary can find out the truth and give justice to the victim's family. Preliminary examination results showed that rice fermentation acid was detected in the deceased's body, causing systemic coagulation insufficiency. However, the investigation is still ongoing and no final conclusion has been reached. News title, data reference, The Epoch Times. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, The Epoch Times. News highlights, Apple CEO Cook's high-profile interaction in China failed to change the reality of the CCP's restrictions on foreign companies. Outdated corporate diplomacy tactics no longer apply, and Apple faces challenges in the Chinese market as the CCP is skeptical of Western companies. Even with Cook's high-profile visit to China last year, Apple sales in China continued to decline. For foreign companies, they need to recognize the reality, adjust their strategies, and combine strategic contact with China and management of China risks in order to achieve long-term development. News headline, Rice yeast acidosis reported for the first time in Taiwan. Don't eat improperly stored starch fermented products. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, The Epoch Times. News highlights, rice fermentation acid has been detected for the first time in Taiwan. The Ministry of Health and Welfare reminds consumers to avoid eating coconut, corn, and other fermented foods that have been stored in inappropriate environments for a long time to prevent poisoning. Ribozoic acid attacks mitochondria, causing symptoms such as general weakness, dizziness, and abdominal pain. It may lead to serious consequences, such as bloody stools, arrhythmia, shock, etc., with high mortality. Consumers should pay attention to food safety and avoid eating unknown foods. News headline, many gold shops in China have closed, and 400 million yuan of gold deposited by people is gone. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, The Epoch Times. News highlights, China Gold and Shandong Gold franchise stores suddenly closed, causing customers to lose more than 400 million yuan in gold losses. China Gold is a state-owned enterprise, but it is unwilling to take responsibility. According to reports, the original person in charge of franchise company Sanding has been detained. The incident showed that China's economic bubble has burst, and even large enterprises have exploded, exacerbating economic difficulties. People are worried about the knock-on effects of the financial crisis. News headline, Why can't we see that evil is rewarded with evil? The King of Hell asked him to experience 3 lives to understand cause and effect. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, The Epoch Times. News highlights, the story tells that Li Fu, a man from the Qing dynasty, questioned whether evil people enjoy happiness, so he followed Gong Qingjia to the underworld. The King of Hell explained that Gong Qing had done good deeds in his previous life and enjoyed blessings in this life, but his evil deeds were not repaid. Li Fu reincarnated and observed that Gong Qing committed evil again and was eventually punished by poverty. Li Fu gained blessings by practicing good deeds. The story reveals that good and evil will be rewarded, but the time has not yet come. Bear the consequences from life to life. News headline, The cause of poisoning in Bailin tea house is revealed. Why does rice fermentation cause death? Food and Drug Administration discloses prevention methods. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, Health 2.0. News highlights, a mass food poisoning case broke out at Bailin Tea House Xinyi A13 store, resulting in 2 deaths and 5 serious illnesses. The autopsy results showed that rice fermentation acid was detected in the deceased's body, causing systemic coagulation insufficiency. The Food and Drug Administration reminds that rice fermentation is a rare toxin that is easily formed in foods such as coconut and corn and cannot be eliminated by high-temperature cooking. People should avoid eating improperly fermented foods, and seek medical advice promptly if they notice related symptoms. The Ministry of Health and Welfare has established a notification system and calls on anyone who has dined at Bailin Tea House and develops diarrhea symptoms to report immediately. News headline, Myth solved. Food is not safe just after heating. Medical advice, 1 trick to avoid food poisoning and stabilize blood sugar. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, Health 2.0. News highlights, the food poisoning case at Bailin Tea House continues to spread, causing 16 cases of poisoning, resulting in 2 deaths and 5 serious cases. The Ministry of Health and Welfare initially determined that it was caused by rice fermentation acid toxin, but other pathogenic factors have yet to be clarified. Experts point out that heating food cannot completely eliminate toxins, and some heat-resistant toxins still remain, which may pose a threat to health. It is recommended that the public pay attention to food handling to avoid the risk of food poisoning. At the same time, freezing food can reduce blood sugar reactions and improve health. News headline, TSMC Georgia, 3nm is confirmed to be superior to Intel 18A. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights. A comparison table published by TSMC at the 2024 Semi-International Strategy Symposium shows that its advanced processes are far ahead of Intel and Samsung in terms of transistor density, computing performance, and energy efficiency. President Wei Zhijia pointed out that TSMC's 3nm process is superior to Intel's 18A. Although Intel has not released energy consumption data, the transistor density of TSMC's 3nm process is significantly higher than Intel's 18A. The report also pointed out that although Samsung has launched the GAA architecture process, it still lags behind TSMC. News headline, Amazon, Claude 3 surpasses ChatGPT, 4 billion investment completed. How to use this super powerful AI. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, Amazon announced a $4 billion investment in Anthropic to support the latest version of its large language model, Claude 3. Claude 3 surpasses previous ones in terms of speed, context token length, and memory capacity, and can handle very long articles without copying and pasting. Anthropic was founded by former OpenAI employees and its model capabilities are superior to GPT-4 and Gemini. Users can register and open an account on the Anthropic official website. Claude 3 supports Chinese and has strong memory capabilities, with instant conversations and accurate recall. News headline, How did Mumbai, India, surpass Beijing and become the billionaire capital of Asia? Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, according to the rankings released by Huron Research Institute on the 26th, the number of billionaires in Mumbai has increased to 92, making it the city with the most billionaires in Asia and ranking third in the world. New Delhi, the capital of India, breaks into the top 10 for the first time. China still leads the list with 814 billionaires, but the number of billionaires decreased by 155, the United States ranked second with 800 billionaires, and India had 271 billionaires. The increase is attributed to the strong stock market and huge business opportunities. Ambani is the only Asian billionaire among the top 10 richest people in the world, with assets of $115 billion. News headline, Leaders must have the fighting spirit to win. Zhou Kailian, I don't plan to take everyone to the promised land, so why are you here? Release time, November 2, 2023. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, Kailian Zhou is a pioneer of e-commerce in Taiwan. She has reached the top level of foreign businessmen in the United States by building relationships and infecting others with enthusiasm. She led the team at Yahoo Taiwan to successfully resist eBay's invasion and demonstrated entrepreneurial spirit. Zhou emphasizes the importance of networking and sees the fighting spirit to win as an essential quality in a leader that can motivate a team to keep moving forward even when faced with challenges. News headline, Having these 3 moles on your face is unlucky. Add the method of preventing moles and covering moles to improve your luck without relying on moles. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, I am the biggest woman. News highlights, the position of moles on the face can reflect destiny. A mole on the forehead indicates career obstacles, a mole on the root of the mountain represents emotional weakness, and a mole on the edge of the nose indicates a life of hard work. To cover a vicious mole, first apply a thin base of makeup, then apply concealer to the center of the mole, pat around lightly, and finally set the makeup. Through concealer skills, you can change your destiny even without using surgery or removing moles. News headline, Mayday Army's 25th anniversary top 10 most popular divine comedies. Foolish Man only ranked 7th. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, I Am the Biggest Woman. News highlights, Mayday's classic works on the music road resonate with many people's emotions. Among these songs, Leaving the Surface of the Earth, The Place in My Heart That Has Not Been Broken, Noah's Ark, etc., carry dissatisfaction with the world, perseverance in faith, and feelings about love. Among them, Tenderness is a good companion when you are falling out of love. It expresses your blessings and longing for the person you once loved in a gentle way, and has become a healing song in the hearts of many people. These songs not only make people feel emotional resonance when listening to them, but also accompany people through various moments in life. News headline, Lin Yusheng vs. Liu Zhihuan. Chen Kamai lays down the gun. The high market suddenly stopped bidding for waste land, and the focus of land prices was blurred. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Yiping News Network. News highlights, the Ministry of the Interior asked local governments to suspend the auction of free land to increase the supply of land for social housing. This move triggered confrontation between local governments and the central government, especially in places such as Taichung and Kaohsiung. Local governments hope to raise financial resources through land auctions, but the central government emphasizes that priority is given to building social housing. The center of the dispute is whether the land sale will raise land prices, which has evolved into a political issue. The Ministry of Interior said it is working on solutions and will discuss them with local governments. News headline, 2 dead in Balanti room. He is the substitute chef. After answering the call, he was asked to come back without guarantee. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Yiping News Network. News highlights, the food poisoning incident at the vegetarian restaurant Balanti room at A13 Yuanbei Xinyi District, Bay City continues to expand, causing 2 deaths and 18 people being poisoned. On the 28th, the prosecutor interviewed the substitute chef surnamed Hu to explain the case, but Hu did not comment. The prosecutor has restricted 3 people, including the person in charge surnamed Li, from leaving the country and is conducting an autopsy on the deceased to clarify the cause of death. Preliminary examination showed that one of the deceased persons had ricemethionine in his body, but the cause of death still needs to be comprehensively determined by the prosecutor. News headline, the family of the deceased in Balanti house wants to sue the hospital. The doctor lamented, "It's so desperate." Further from the truth. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Yiping News Network. News highlight, 2 people died after a food safety incident at Paul Lam Tea Room. Their families will sue the restaurant and accuse the hospital of procedural negligence. Physician Zhang Guanyu lamented that the case is shrouded in mystery, and filing a lawsuit will only further away from the truth. He called on society to stop blaming each other, maintain trust, express sympathy for medical staff, and mentioned the professional plight of doctors. News headline, Wang Yangming's 40-meter dive in Penghu was completely dark and extremely dangerous. 2 keys to surviving the depression of marriage. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Yiping News Network. News highlights, Taiwan's first documentary Sleeping Underwater Giant with the theme of ocean shipwreck ecology sparked discussion after it was broadcast. Host Wang Yangming shared his dangerous experience during diving, and how he and his wife regained harmony after surviving the downturn in their marriage. He emphasized that communication and time are the keys to solving problems. Producer Li Jingbei sacrificed a lot for the show, including sacrificing his health. The production cost of the program is as high as 36 million yuan, but it has won many Golden Bell Awards. News headline, forced kissing Zhong Peijun without admitting it. Zhu Suiheng was tried for a harsh sentence and the first instance verdict was released. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Yiping News Network. News highlights, the Taipei District Court ruled that celebrity Zhu Suiheng was sentenced to 1 year and 2 months in prison on suspicion of forced indecency. He can appeal. The court found that Zhu Suiheng still used the media and the community to make remarks during the trial in an attempt to portray Zhong Peijun as a political thug, showing a lack of awareness and remorse for gender equality. The whole case originated from Zhong Peijun's accusation of Zhu Suiheng's forced kiss last year. Zhu Suiheng denied the crime. The court considered his behavior during the investigation and sentenced him to a heavy sentence. Zhong Peijun was once suspected of being drugged, but Zhu Suiheng denied it. The case involved the testimony of multiple witnesses. News headline, Shohei Ohtani is no longer alone. Dodgers MVP connection combined for 2 home runs and 4 RBIs to win the home opener. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Yiping News Network. News highlights, the Dodgers, led by the MVP connection Baez, Ohtani, and Freeman, defeated the Cardinals 7-1, showing an outstanding performance. In the first inning, Baez walked, Ohtani doubled, and Freeman had an RBI, leading the Dodgers to the lead. Baez fired again, Ohtani hit his second hit, and Freeman hit a 2-point shot again. The MVP connection contributed a total of 5 hits, 2 hits, 4 RBIs, and 6 runs. Dodger starter Glasnow performed well, pitching 6 innings and allowing 1 run, winning his first win of the season. News headline, avoid wearing 2 colors when sweeping a grave. The 3 types of people should not go. At this time, yang energy has faded and you should leave quickly. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Yiping News Network. News focus, numerologist K. Beicheng reminded that you should pay attention to the taboos when sweeping tombs during the Qingming festival, especially pregnant women, menstruating women, and people with poor health should avoid going. The process of sweeping the tomb consumes energy, and the aura of the tomb area is unfavorable, which can easily lead to backlash. It is recommended to perform the ceremony from 7 a.m. to before noon when Yang Qi is strong, and leave at 3 p.m. at the latest to avoid offering sacrifices in the evening when Yang Qi subsides and Yin Qi increases. In addition, avoid playing around when sweeping the tomb, avoid wearing bright red or purple clothes, recite the Buddha's name on the way back, and use mugwort soap to wash away bad luck after returning home. Resurrected by AI. 85-year-old mother complained bitterly about the second injury and issued a 4-point statement that she couldn't bear it. Release time, March 29, 2024. Information reference, TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: after the death of Chinese language queen Coco Lee, netizens resurrected her through AI technology, causing controversy. Coco Lee's family and her second sister, Lee Silan, objected to this, believing that this was a secondary injury to the deceased. The family issued a statement through their lawyer, demanding that the relevant videos be removed from the shelves within 7 days, otherwise legal liability will be pursued. Lee Silan said that using AI technology for commercial operations and infringement are inappropriate behaviors. The feelings of the deceased and their families should be respected and they should not be harmed again. News headline: Han Shaoxi chokes Hyori again. Ryu Junyol was also named. The IG post was deleted instantly. What's so interesting? Release time: March 29, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: South Korean actress Han Shaoxi once again posted a message on IG to clarify that she was involved in mistress suspicions, saying that she and Ryu Junyol had met at a photography exhibition before dating, and their relationship was not seamless. She criticized Ryu Junyol's predecessor Hyori's remarks as being untrue and emphasized that she did not mean to be rudely close to Ryu Junyol. Han Shaoxi asked the company to disclose the truth. She was dissatisfied with the outside world's accusations that she was afraid of changing trains, and she vented her anger on the negative people. She apologized again and emphasized that she didn't like to be consumed, calling on people who didn't like her not to follow her. News headline: the author of Let the Bullets Fly died of illness at home. Song lived to be 110 years old and the literary world mourned the great master. Release time: March 29, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: the famous writer Ma Shitu, who lived to be 110 years old, passed away last night due to illness. He is good at novels, prose, poetry, and other fields. Together with Ba Jin, Zhang Xiaoshu, and others, he is known as the Five Elders of Sichuan, with a creative career of more than 80 years. Among them, the 1983 novel collection 10 Tales of a Night was adapted into the movie Let the Bullets Fly, directed and starred by Zhang Wen, which became a masterpiece. Zhang Wen expressed sadness over Ma Shitu's death, calling him an old man with both civil and military skills. News headline: Wang Xiaofei proposes to new girlfriend. Le shows diamond ring shouting love to Taiwan, wife is from Taipei. Release time: March 28, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: Wang Xiaofei announced her proposal to her girlfriend Mandy, saying she is her fiancé from Taipei, and thanked everyone for their blessings. This news came more than 2 years after his divorce from Big S. Prior to this, Wang Xiaofei had expressed her intention to marry Mandy many times in live broadcasts, and promised to buy her a big ring, praising her for being considerate and sensible. News headline: criticizing a bad script. Local drama actress laments that actors are looked down upon and reveals the inside story of Taiwan 8. Release time: March 28, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: 32-year-old actress Lin Swanyu has been active in the 8 o'clock show for many years. She recently asked on a social platform, are actors in the 8 o'clock show often looked down upon, which caused heated discussion. Netizens expressed their respect and believed that the actors worked hard and had superb acting skills. Although the 8 o'clock script is sometimes ridiculous, it is still very popular. Lin Swanyu responded by pointing out that the 8 o'clock slot is the largest source of viewership in Taiwan, and it was unfair to accuse the script of being bad. She responded to netizens' criticism with a high EQ. The overall atmosphere was positive and upbeat, showing the professional attitude of the actors. News headline: Brother Tong Shen was shocked that he suddenly stopped breathing. Abnormal heartbeat while sleeping. Nasal intubation and emergency medical treatment. Release time: March 29, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: well-known online game live host Qiudong was recently diagnosed with obstructive sleep apnea, causing symptoms such as abnormal physical fatigue and sudden cessation of breathing. After examination, it was found that there were problems such as neck hypertrophy and respiratory tract stenosis, and the IHE value was as high as 45.7, indicating severe sleep apnea. The National Labor Movement calls for testing of people with poor sleep quality and recommends treatments such as losing weight and wearing respirators. He also shared his own experience to remind the public to pay attention to sleep health and deal with problems as early as possible. News headline: the 65-year-old Bao Qingtian actress Zero Retouching Beauty is exposed. She has faded away from the entertainment industry and rarely appeared in public. I admit it is difficult to handle. Release time: March 28, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: costume goddess Chu Yuding recently shared the secret of aging in a program. The 65-year-old takes good care of herself and is praised for her appearance that does not reveal her age. Having been described as difficult, she said she has extremely high standards for herself, has been studying essential oils for more than 30 years, and loves jewelry design and creation. Chu Yuding usually wears less makeup and stays away from fried food. He likes massage, bathing, and playing badminton. He also developed his cooking skills during the epidemic. He will soon launch a YouTube channel to share home cooking and health tips. News headline: Attention during Qingming tomb sweeping. Numerologist reveals 5 things to note, it is best to leave at one time. Release time: March 29, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: Numerologist K. Beicheng pointed out the following precautions when sweeping tombs during the Qingming festival. 1. Pregnant women and menstruating women should not go. 2. Avoid playful photography in cemeteries and respect the gods of the land. 3. Avoid wearing red and purple colors, which is in line with basic respect. 4. People with poor health should avoid it as the tomb area is full of bad luck. 5. Tomb sweeping time should be chosen when yang qi is strong, and it is best to avoid after 3 p.m. Continue to pray after the Qingming festival, recite the Buddha's name on the way back, and take a bath with mugwort soap to remove bad luck. News headline: Orizozoic acid can cause illness and death within 1 day. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: An autopsy confirmed that the food poisoning at Bailin Tea House was related to rice fermentation acid. This toxin inhibits the energy operation of cells, causing cells to lose energy and causing organ damage. It may lead to serious consequences such as liver failure, acidosis, and systemic organ failure. Symptoms of those affected include weakness, dizziness, abdominal pain, vomiting, diarrhea, etc. In severe cases, there are risks such as hypoglycemia, liver failure, and kidney damage. Emergency measures and appropriate treatment are crucial. News headline: Musk is going to cry. Xiaomi electric car officially launched, super sweet price rivals Tesla. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: Xiaomi announced in the evening that the SU7 pure electric car is on the market, priced from RMB 215,900, which is RMB 30,000 cheaper than Tesla Model 3. Lei Jun said that SU7 has specifications that surpass Model 3. Xiaomi Motors strives to rival Tesla and Porsche. Orders for the SU7 exceeded 50,000 units in just 27 minutes after its launch, demonstrating strong market response. News headline: An old customer who had been paying premiums for 26 years died of breast cancer. The insurance company said no compensation unless there are complications. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: Hung to Life operates based on the philosophy of soundness, integrity, and care, but negative news has continued in recent years. In the latest case, after a breast cancer patient passed away, Hung to refused to pay the claim, claiming that the cause of death was complications. The family angrily filed a complaint with the Insurance Review Center, hoping for justice. Hung to has responded that it respects the results of the review, but has been refuted by the family. This case has attracted public attention and reminded consumers to choose insurance carefully. News headline: Kaohsiung Pharmacy sells snowflake ice. The operator said it was for healing customers and the Health Bureau inspected and issued fines. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: A drugstore in Kaohsiung sells snowflake ice with added probiotics, attracting attention. The Health Bureau's inspection found multiple violations of the food safety law, which resulted in a fine of more than 60,000 yuan and a deadline for improvement. Matters suspected of involving the Pharmaceutical Affairs Law will be dealt with strictly. The operator said it was out of care and gave patients a sweet feeling, but it unexpectedly caused controversy. The pharmacy has stopped selling snowflake ice, with serving patients as its top priority. News headline: There will be rain as the front passes through the northern and eastern half today. Thunderstorm hits on Sunday. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: The Central Meteorological Administration pointed out that as the front passes through today, there will be localized short-lived showers in the northern and eastern half, sporadic short-lived showers in the central and southern mountainous areas in the afternoon, and fog or low clouds in the western half. The temperature will rise tomorrow, and there will be local brief showers in the northern and central mountainous areas. Another front will approach on Sunday and next Monday, which may bring about a convective system. The impact on Taiwan remains to be seen. The front will move north next Tuesday and Wednesday, and the weather will become warmer and hotter. A weak front will affect the north next Thursday, causing temperatures to drop slightly. News headline: The goddess-level actress's appearance completely changed after her divorce. The shocking recent news of the 45-year-old was exposed, and all the Chinese internet were dumbfounded. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights. Recently, 45-year-old actress Karen Lam appeared at an event, wearing a black deep V dress and white boots, which caused discussion. Netizens noticed that her figure seemed out of shape and pointed out that her facial skin showed signs of aging. The style also attracted positive and negative comments. Some people thought it didn't fit well, while others said they should let her go. Karen Lam is the first actor to win 3 acting awards in the history of the Golden Horse Awards. Her love life has also attracted much attention. She divorced director Yoon Jianwei last year, ending her 12-year marriage. News headline: Semiconductor Wrestling, US China Stud. Release time: March 29, 2024. Information reference: Free Electronic News. News focus: in order to contain the development of China's semiconductor technology, the United States has strengthened its chip ban and widely restricted the export of high-end chips to China, involving more than 40 countries, including Japan, the Netherlands, and other countries. Despite granting indefinite exemptions to Taiwan and South Korean chip factories, the plan to de-China the semiconductor industry is still being pushed forward. The United States has invested $52 billion in capital to attract foreign investment in the U.S. semiconductor industry and enhance competitiveness. However, China continues to develop its semiconductor industry, and U.S. regulations are still unable to halt its development. Competition in the chip field between China and the U.S. will continue to be fierce. News headline: The fatality rate of rice fermentation acid is more than 40%. Poison Dr. Hong Dongrong reveals that there may be a solution. Release time: March 29, 2024. Information reference: Free Electronic News. News highlights: Food poisoning at Bailin Tea House in Taipei City caused 2 deaths and 5 life-threatening injuries. The Ministry of Health and Welfare pointed out that rice fermentation acid was detected in the deceased, which is extremely toxic. 1 to 1.5 mg is fatal and there is no antidote. Treatment is mainly supportive, and Hong Dongrong suggested considering using N-acetylcysteine, NAC, antidote. A professor of toxicology at National Taiwan University pointed out that NAC is difficult to treat and can be temporarily relieved by plasma exchange. The mortality rate from poisoning exceeds 40%, and treatment challenges are numerous. News headline: Ma and Cai both raise electricity prices but have different fates. Xiao Susan reveals the power of Tsai's government, Lai King fears mixed feelings. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Liao Daily. News highlights: Xiao Susan, chairman of the Ma Yingxia Cultural and Educational Foundation, criticized the Tsai government for increasing electricity prices by 12% more than the Ma government, but failed to arouse public resentment, saying that it has a group of escorts to promote it. He pointed out that the Tsai government increased prices but emphasized the rise of the stock market and ignored the burden on people's livelihood. Lai King will face greater pressure. Xiao Susan called on the government to pay more attention to grassroots needs and avoid the expansion of public dissatisfaction. News headline: The Digital Missile Department was shot, and the 4-pointed cat pretended to be Conan on the keyboard. Apologize late at night, I am in the wrong and I deleted the post. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Liao Daily. News highlights: Nanta BNB owner Zhang Nan was involved in breaking into a digital currency department with a gun. Internet celebrity 4Chased previously claimed that he had been involved in a fraud group, but later apologized due to incorrect information, saying that Zhang Nan only learned about the fraud after renting the BNB, and hoped that it would not affect the BNB image. Employees revealed that Zhang Nan was under great financial pressure and looked forward to the return of mainland customers. Netizens criticized Si Mao for spreading rumors and questioned whether its apology was sincere. News headline: Criticism of Blue's proposal to freeze electricity prices. Wu Saiyao, if Taipower collapses, will the legislature bear the consequences? Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Liao Daily. News highlights: The executive yuan's decision to raise electricity prices in April sparked controversy. The Kuomintang and the People's Party proposed a law amendment requiring the approval of the legislative yuan for electricity price increases, which was criticized by the Democratic Progressive Party. The Democratic Progressive Party pointed out that it had established an electricity price review committee in 2015, requiring professional review, and criticized the Kuomintang's proposal to expand the authority of the legislative yuan, which may lead to a decrease in administrative efficiency. Point out that if Taipower goes bankrupt as a result, can the legislative yuan bear the consequences? News headline: Taipei Bailin Tea House / families hold the hospital accountable. Many doctors lamented, both sides may lose. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Liao Daily. News highlights: A food poisoning incident at Bailin Tea House in Taipei City resulted in 2 deaths and 6 injuries. L. Yunan's widow plans to sue the hospital, causing concern in the medical community. Physicians pointed out that filing a complaint might delay the investigation, while surgeons were worried that the cause of the poisoning was not yet clear, an urgent filing of a complaint might hinder the progress of the investigation. It is emphasized that orizoic acid is extremely toxic, and the medical team has tried their best, but the medical system may be affected. News headline: Has the ball used in secondary vocational schools become more elastic and bigger? The league released data testing, the recovery coefficient meets the standards. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Liaj Daily. News highlight: The Chinese Professional Baseball League released testing data showing that the recovery coefficient of this year's game ball was 0.554, which complied with regulations. The test included 9 items including appearance and diameter, all of which were qualified. Since President Cai Qing took office, the number of inspections has been increased to 4 times a year, with 24 balls inspected each time, and the amount of compensation for non-conformity has been increased. The league emphasizes that the quality of the game balls is stable. The number of home runs in this year's warm-up games is similar to last year, and the diameter of the baseballs also maintains international standards. News headline: Zhu Suiheng was sentenced to 1 year and 2 months in prison for secretly shutting down a fan page. Online viewing stated that he would not pay for it. The court certified him as an obscene offender. Release time: March 29, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: Kuomintang North City Councillor Zhong Peijun accused celebrity Zhu Suiheng of being involved in a second-degree forced kiss. Zhu Suiheng volunteered to go to the district prosecutor's office and announced the suspension of his activities. However, he changed his plea to not guilty during the trial and was sentenced to 1 year and 2 months in prison by the Taipei District Court today. He can appeal. Zhu Suiheng's fan page has been closed. He only stated on his personal Facebook that he wanted to prove his innocence. However, netizens disagreed, calling him a court-certified molester and questioning his words and deeds. News headline: Attending the American Chamber of Commerce dinner for the last time, President Tsai Ing-wen takes over to maintain political and economic stability. Release time: March 28, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: President Tsai Ing-wen attended the American Chamber of Commerce's New Year's Eve dinner tonight, which was also the last time she attended during her tenure. She expressed her gratitude to everyone and said goodbye. She expressed confidence in the quasi-president Lai Ching-te who took over, believing that he will continue Taiwan's success story and maintain political and economic stability. During her term in office, President Tsai emphasized the importance of Taiwan-US relations and closer economic cooperation. She also became the president with the largest number of U.S. congressional delegations to Taiwan. Prospective Vice President Xiao Mikan, Foreign Minister Joseph Wu and others were also invited to attend. They expected Lai to continue to deepen Taiwan-US relations after taking office. News headline: Ma Ying-jeou will go to China next month to pay homage to the mausoleum of the Yellow Emperor. Calling Swan worships fictional characters, his head is broken. Release time: March 29, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: Well-known writer Ku Ling criticized former President Ma Ying-jeou for participating in the Qingming Festival ceremony to honor Xian Yuan Yellow Emperor hosted by China, saying that the Yellow Emperor and Yan Emperor were fictional characters and the Yellow Emperor's mausoleum did not exist. He found this deceptive sacrificial activity puzzling and called on people to stop calling themselves descendants of Yan and Huang because these two people did not exist at all. Colling's remarks sparked discussion. News headline: The deceased in the Bailin case was found to have rice fermented acid. How to protect yourself: Look at the 4 major QAs at once, prevention is the key. Release time: March 28, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: Food safety issues at the Bailin tea room at A13 Xinyi Yunbei, Beijing City led to 18 cases of poisoning and 2 deaths. The rare toxin rice fermentation acid was found after autopsy. The Ministry of Health and Welfare provided 4 major QAs and recommended that the public should not eat starchy fermented foods that have been stored in inappropriate environments for a long time. Prevention is the best policy. Rice fermentation acid is harmful to the liver, kidneys, and other organs, and may even be life-threatening. In the past, there have been many incidents related to rice fermentation acid poisoning in various parts of the world, which requires a high degree of vigilance. News headline: A total of 18 people have died in the Bailin poisoning case. 2 have died. Ministry of Health and Welfare, 5 people are still in the intensive care unit. Release time: March 29, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: The Bailin tea house poisoning case has resulted in 18 cases, of which 2 people died unfortunately, 6 people were hospitalized, including 5 people in the intensive care unit and 1 person in the general ward, and 10 people have been discharged. All cases were related to ingestion of char kwai tiao or rice noodles served at Po Lam Tea House. The Ministry of Health and Welfare is actively investigating. The blood of the first deceased person was tested positive for rice-zymotic acid. This toxin was detected for the first time in Taiwan, and Zhonghua Christian Hospital provided standard products. The Ministry of Health and Welfare has established a symptom notification system and a Pollen Tea House food poisoning project to call on those who have eaten the food from the Pollen Tea House on designated dates and have related symptoms to report it in time. News headline: Can AI drawing also work? The first place in the art exhibition of Fuxing commerce and industry teachers and students caused controversy. Netizens said, anyone who paints seriously is a clown. Release time: March 29, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: the Fuxing Commerce and Industry School Anniversary Teachers and Students Art Exhibition erupted into controversy. One of the winning works was accused of using AI drawing. School regulations prohibit AI drawing, but this work did not violate the rules because the student provided manuscript support. Netizens heatedly discussed the authenticity of the work and accused it of violating the spirit of originality. The school emphasized that no violations were found after professional verification. This matter has attracted social attention and discussed the boundaries between originality and AI technology. News headline: Super Junior Ryo Wook announces marriage. Someone appears who wants to start a family together. The team has a new husband. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Eat a Day Starlight Cloud. News highlights: Super Junior member Ryo Wook suddenly announced the news of his marriage on IG, thanking fans and the company for their support. He admitted that he and his partner, whom he had been dating for many years, had the idea of starting a family. After careful consideration, he decided to get married and planned to hold the wedding at the end of May. Although he became the second husband in the team, he promised to continue to act as Super Junior Ryo Wook in the future and thanked fans for their long-term support and love. Fans sent their blessings one after another. News headline: Han Shaoxi I am also worried about being cheated dating Ryu Junyal, appearance is not everything. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Eat a Day Starlight Cloud. News highlights: South Korean actress Han Shaoxi posted on IG this morning to reveal her feelings, mentioning her relationship with Ryu Junyal, and calling on her company to reveal the facts. She also admitted that she was worried that she might be misled by lies and hoped to clarify the doubts. Han Shaoxi emphasized that she was not seamless and did not want her emotions to be misunderstood. The article criticized remarks that did not understand the truth and apologized for some of the accusations. She expressed her gratitude to her fans and hoped for a peaceful resolution. News headline: Former Tiara Yarin tried to commit suicide and woke up after being in coma for nearly 2 days. Scolding ex-husband, YTR, pay the price. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Eat a Day Starlight Cloud. News highlights: former Tiara member Yilin tried to commit suicide in the early morning of the 27th. After being sent to the hospital for treatment, her life was not in danger. Late last night, she posted a message to report that she was safe, saying that she would continue to live for the people who love her, and apologized to fans who were worried about her. She mentioned that when she was on the verge of life and death, she thought of her loved one and decided to persevere. She warned the victims and related parties that they would sue, emphasizing that those who hurt her should pay the price. Arin thanked her fans for their support and expressed her love for everyone. News headlines: Child abuse, Taiwan Chiang Kai-shek, and food safety scandals in Beijing City. DPP blasts dereliction of duty, Zhang Wanan apologizes and takes responsibility. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Sanli News Network. News highlights: the Democratic Progressive Party criticized the Taipei city government for being slow and derelict in its handling of child abuse, Taipei lighting, and food safety incidents, and demanded an apology from Mayor Zhang Wanan. The Democratic Progressive Party pointed out that Taipei City was hesitant to handle food safety incidents, shirking responsibility, and questioned the Chiang City government's ineffective response. Taipei City Councillor Jian Shupei pointed out that the Taipei City Health Bureau did not immediately bring back the ingredients for testing, criticizing the city government's insufficient response. The DPP requires Zhang Wanan to bear the greatest responsibility and requires him to complete the relevant project report before the parliamentary report on April 8. News headline: Water situation is critical. The water storage capacity of Taiwan's 10 reservoirs is less than 40%. Water Resources Department: there will be no danger before the end of June. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Sanli News Network. News highlights: the water storage capacity of 10 reservoirs in Taiwan is less than 40%, and 6 are listed as increased concern, including Ximen, Hsinchu Bayi, Bao'er, Yonghe Mountain, Liaodan, and Iji. The Water Resources Department has activated 24-hour standby and is ready to carry out artificial rainfall enhancement at any time. Yesterday, the work was carried out on the 4 southern reservoirs. The existing water volume can be sufficient until the end of June, but the Central Meteorological Administration predicts normal to less rainfall, especially during the rainy season in May, which is highly variable. The Water Resources Department said that public water supply can last for at least 3 months, but the risk is high in April and uncertain in May. News headline: Noble Lady Nana absconded and became a refugee. She was so miserable that she had no money to turn on the heating. Doctors expose Canadian regulations and slap them in the face. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Sanley News Network. News highlights: Internet celebrity writer Nana was recently arrested in Canada. She claimed to live in poverty. However, doctors in Toronto questioned her statement and pointed out that in Canada, heating must be turned on in winter. She said that she was reluctant to turn on the heating. It is not credible and she should be self-inflicted. Self-acting to prepare for comeback. The noble Lady Nana was accused of involving 1 billion in financial flows but did not mention it, causing controversy. News headline: Taiwan's money floods feet. Xie Jinhe reveals that Class 1 stocks have risen much more than TSMC, they are on the road to becoming more powerful. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Sanley News Network. News highlights: Xie Jinhe pointed out that after the government suppressed the housing market, builders have thrived. Taiwan's money tide has emerged, bank deposits have increased sharply, and high net worth individuals have increased, which has affected the housing market and construction industry. He found that the share prices of construction stocks have increased astonishingly. This year, the Construction Public Index has risen more than semiconductor and electronic stocks, which shows the impact of the money wave effect on Taiwan's economy. This phenomenon implies that Taiwan faces more challenges. News headline: Who do you want to replace most? Cabinet members' dissatisfaction revealed, nearly 40% of her won the championship. Tang Feng ranked second. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News Network. News highlights: The latest national political poll by Beautiful Island Electronic News shows that Economic Minister Wang Maihua's dissatisfaction rate reached 38.5%, ranking first, followed by Minister of Digital Development Tang Feng and NCC Chairman Chen Yaoxiang. Among the projects that people are dissatisfied with the performance of the Tsai administration in the past 8 years, rising prices of oil, electricity and property protection are the top 2. Wu Zijie pointed out that the businesses in charge of Wang Maihua and Tang Feng are the reasons for people's dissatisfaction. He also criticized the failure of the Tsai administration's green energy policy and questioned what would happen if Lai Ching-te was in charge in the future. News headline: Computer giant announces layoffs. The Taiwan branch slashed its employees and lost their jobs overnight. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News Network. News highlights: The wave of layoffs in the global technology industry is spreading. Amazon and Dell have laid off employees one after another. Lenovo's Taiwan branch has also launched a layoff plan. Nearly 100 employees lost their jobs overnight. The Ministry of Labor confirmed that it has received a large number of layoff plans. Lenovo proposed layoffs due to business contraction. So far, it has laid off more than 20% of its employees. The method of dismissal is consensual termination of contract, and the Ministry of Labor calls on affected employees to appeal to the labor authorities if they have any objections. News headline: There is a snake in the public toilet. A man in New Taipei was shocked when he saw a long and thin object entrenched in the toilet when he went to the toilet while admiring flowers. He was so frightened that he ran out of the door and ran away. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News Network. News highlights: A New Taipei city resident surnamed Lin went to Balian River in Shanxi district to enjoy cherry blossoms. However, he was surprised to see a red-spotted snake in a public toilet. He was so frightened that he ran out of the door and notified the Animal Protection Office. After the animal protection personnel arrived, they captured the snake and released it into the wild, ending the horror. The Animal Welfare Department urges you to wear protective clothing when doing outdoor activities. If you are bitten by a snake, you should stay calm and seek medical treatment. Do not catch the snake yourself to avoid disturbing the snake. News headline: Liver failure after eating pasta. Leave it for 5 days and the poison will develop. Experts believe white rice is very common. Release time: March 28, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News Network. News highlights: Food safety experts revealed a case of food poisoning in a Belgian boy in 2008. He ate spaghetti that had been left out for several days and was contaminated by cactus bacteria, which led to acute pancreatitis and liver failure. He eventually died. The public is reminded that even cooked food needs to be stored carefully, and it is especially important to refrigerate overnight meals to avoid contamination by cactus bacteria. Leftover food in the refrigerator can easily breed bacteria. People should pay attention to avoid food poisoning, especially the safety of overnight meals. News headline: Stay until April and make a fortune. 3 zodiac signs are loved by noble people and have a prosperous career and good luck. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, TVBS News Network. News highlights, the April fortune column names 3 zodiac signs, Rooster, Rat, and Pig. People born in the year of the Rooster will attract the love of noble people due to their strong interpersonal luck, and their career and financial fortune will flourish. Those born in the year of the Rat will move forward bravely, and their perseverance will attract the support of noble people, and their careers are expected to be successful. Those born in the year of the Pig will be kind-hearted, and will receive guidance from noble people when encountering difficulties. The wealth opportunities are even brighter. May all the zodiac signs have good luck in April and everything goes well. News headline, the highest admission rate to higher education, Zooks solid results soared to the top of the list. The net exclaimed, Baeyunu and Jianzhong were defeated. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, United News Network. News highlights, Zook Shizhong ranked first with a high school promotion rate of 75.29%, surpassing Bi Girls and Jianzhong. However, in terms of the probability of entering the National Taiwan University, Jianzhong ranked first with 37.04%, and Zook Shizhong ranked fourth. Netizens have been discussing the ranking list, interested in the competition between Jianzhong and Bi, and also worried about the fairness of the ranking list. The performance of the students in the real middle school has been discussed. Some people said that Zook's mother's hard work has finally paid off, but others pointed out that many students are under great pressure to enter higher education. News title, 10 Key Points to Avoid Food Poisoning. Tan Dunsai, bring a lunchbox before cooking. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, United News Network. News highlights, Tan Dunsai reminded the public that Taiwanese people do not need to worry too much about food safety, but they should be aware that the peak period for food poisoning is from May to October. She recommends keeping cooked food sealed and not refrigerated for long periods of time. At the same time, 10 methods for preserving food are provided, such as keeping the refrigerator 70% full, sealing and refrigeration immediately after cooking rice, etc. She also called for attention to food spoilage and the separation of raw and cooked food to maintain health. News headline, I don't want to imagine my mother's hard work all her life. 2 layouts that everyone hates the most, I don't want to put it in the large space. Release time, March 26, 2024. Data reference, United News Network. News highlights, modern houses have smaller space. Factors such as the declining birth rate and high housing prices have led people to prefer practicality and no longer set up divine halls or filial piety rooms. Netizens expressed that life is stressful and it is difficult to afford extra space. Some people think that these traditional facilities are not needed. Some people plan to convert Shenming Hall into other uses, reflecting changes in social values. News headline, don't eat homemade food? He wondered if Bailin employees were okay. The internet revealed the inside story of the catering industry, I would rather go to the supermarket. Release time, March 28, 2024. Data reference, United News Network. News highlights, employees in the catering industry generally do not eat company meals because they are concerned about hygiene issues. The food poisoning incident at Bailin Tea House has attracted attention from the outside world, but there are no cases of employee food poisoning. Netizens speculated that it may be related to supplier changes and storage issues. Some people pointed out that employees in the catering industry often choose to eat out and expose the hygienic environment in the industry. The incident is yet to be clarified by investigation. News title, 0940 Constituent Stocks Draw Lottery Today. Name 2 ex-dividend stocks, Quanta stock price reaches new high. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Eat a Day News Cloud. News highlights, Yuanta Taiwan Value High Dividend ETF, 00940, announced its constituent stocks today. The market named stocks with recent ex-rights dividends such as Light-On, 2301, and Quanta, 2382. The first one rose by more than 5% yesterday to set a new high. Investment trust more than 10,000 shares were bought. Quanta expects its stock price to hit a new high after the ex-dividend, and buying orders continue to increase. The ETF distributed dividends for the first time in July. In order to maintain the level of distribution and focus on the source of dividends, the market focused on ex-dividend stocks. News headline, the Vietnamese chef of Bao Lam Tea Room has been working for 9 days. Worked from 18th to 26th. Poisoning storm killed 2 people. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Eat a Day News Cloud. News highlights, a total of 19 people were injured and 2 died in the food poisoning incident at Bailin Tea House. For the first time, the police summoned the Vietnamese substitute chef surnamed Hu to explain that Hu had been on duty for 9 consecutive days and was asked to return after missing the night for 2 hours. The person in charge and the store manager were also named as defendants and were restricted from traveling overseas. The case involves food safety and hygiene management regulations and the crime of negligent death. Investigate and clarify cooking or food preservation issues. News headline: Emergency and critical care medical staff are on the run. The family of the deceased person in Baylan wants to sue the hospital, and the medical community is in trouble. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Eat a Day News Cloud. News highlights: The vegetarian poisoning case at Baylan Tea House has attracted public attention. L. Yunan's widow questioned the hospital's negligence, but was refuted by the medical community. Famous Dr. Su Yifeng pointed out that poisoning incidents are rare and called on not to blame medical personnel. Chen's Haijin called on people to avoid using negative words and not to dampen the enthusiasm of medical care. Xie Zongxiu pointed out that the incident seriously affected the morale of doctors and nurses, and called for respect for medical care. The incident should focus on investigating the truth and jointly fighting the disease, rather than blaming each other. News headline: Is this the next sacred mountain to protect houses? Li Tongrong, the real estate market will see the trend. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Economic Daily. News highlights: Li Tongrong pointed out that Taiwan's real estate market will shift to a high-speed rail economy and become the next wave of niche. High-speed rail runs through all major cities in Taiwan, forming a one-day living circle and promoting the development of urban areas, connecting science parks and outlets to promote the prosperity of business districts. Future development opportunities will be concentrated around the high-speed rail, especially in the spillover effect areas of the North and South stations. This will be the main development driving force for the next stage of the real estate market and deserves investors' attention. News headline: Spot gold rose above $2,200 to a new high, and oil prices jumped about 2%. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Economic Daily. News highlights: Gold hit a new high in New York on Thursday, surpassing $2,200 per pound, its best monthly performance in more than 3 years. Market expectations for interest rate cuts by the Federal Reserve and geopolitical tensions stimulated safe haven demand, prompting gold prices to rise. Oil prices also rose on expectations of a supply tightening, with West Texas crude futures at $83.17 a barrel and Brent crude futures at $87.48. OPEC extended its production reduction agreement until the end of June, and multiple factors have led to a tightening of crude oil supply. Investors do not expect OPEC to change its oil production policy before June. News headline: Investment in bond ETFs is booming. This fund has reached a scale of 100 billion in less than 100 trading days since its listing. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Economic Daily. News highlights: The Federal Reserve is expected to cut interest rates 3 times in a row this year. The bullish pattern in the bond market continues, and the popularity of bond ETFs continues. The scale of Taiwan's bond ETFs has reached 2.3 trillion yuan, of which 20-plus bond ETFs such as 00937 BQNY ESG investment have been listed. It exceeded 100 billion yuan in 100 trading days, setting the fastest single-tier record in Taiwan. This ETF pursues stable income and attracted 224,000 investments. The monthly dividend has been maintained at 0.084 yuan for 2 consecutive times, and the market sentiment is strong. News headline: Making money without paying dividends. Line Pay, retaining earnings to cope with long-term development. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Economic Daily. News highlights: Line Pay, 7,722, announced a net profit of 8.09 yuan per share in 2023. It will not pay dividends for the time being to cope with operational growth needs. It also launched a large-scale talent recruitment plan to recruit 450 professional talents to expand its service scope. Chairman Ding Xiong said that Line Pay has turned a profit and will continue to expand its team and provide diversified job positions to meet the needs of Taiwan's mobile payment market. Line Pay's revenue last year reached 4.928 billion yuan, and its full-year after-tax net profit was 481 million yuan. Both revenue and profit hit new highs. News headline: Priority for remittances reserved. Female college student lost RMB 66,000 in rental fraud. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlight: A female college student in Xi was defrauded of nearly 30,000 yuan by a fraud group while looking for an apartment on Facebook. Attract tenants with low rents, require remittance to reserve the house, and then defraud more money by paying quarterly deposits. Police pointed out that fraud cases are gradually increasing in the area and landlords should be vigilant. It is recommended that tenants inspect the property in person and pay the rent after signing a written contract to avoid being cheated. News headline: How to prevent rice fermentation acid, the culprit in the Baylan poisoning case? Watch 4 major QAs at once. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlights: a food poisoning case at Bailin Tea House Xinyi Yuanbei A13 store resulted in the death of 2 people, one of whom was found to have the rare toxin rice fermentation acid. The toxin is produced by the bacterium B. cocovenanans in foods rich in fatty acids, commonly found in coconuts and corn. After consumption, it may cause symptoms such as listlessness, dizziness, drowsiness, abdominal pain, vomiting, etc., and may even be life-threatening. The key to prevention is not to eat starchy fermented foods that have been stored in inappropriate environments for a long time. There have been related poisoning incidents in Indonesia, Mozambique, and China in the past. News headline: Live ammunition shooting in Kinmen in April, Li Zhenjia explodes the mainland network fryer worry, Ma Yingzhu is gone in vain. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: China Times News Network. News highlights: Li Zhenjia pointed out that the Ministry of National Defense carried out live ammunition shooting in Kinmen, causing an uproar among netizens on the other side. He questioned that the shooting location was across a high-rise building on the other side of the river and was not targeted at all. He was worried about the lives of Kinmen officers and soldiers and called for careful handling. Li Zhenjia criticized the government's decision-making and believed that the cross-strait situation would become even more tense in April. News headline: Deadly toxins come from overseas. Experts: entering Taiwan may take root. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: China Times News Network. News highlight: the Bailin Tea House food poisoning case revealed that Taiwan's first case of rice fermentation acid was detected, which is produced by Burkholderia candida and is very rare. Epidemiological experts pointed out that the bacteria may have been brought to Taiwan by human movement and grew in specific environments. Burkholderia gladiola grows in a neutral pH environment and is highly toxic. The source should be traced and the scope controlled as soon as possible to avoid further spread. News headline: Wang Xiaofei is shocked to have successfully proposed to her Taiwanese girlfriend. Zhang Lan is in a hurry to do something. Release time: March 28, 2024. Data reference: China Times News Network. News highlights: marital disputes broke out after Big S and Wang Xiaofei divorced, with both parties accusing each other of cheating and drug abuse. It was revealed that Wang Xiaofei had successfully proposed to her Taiwanese girlfriend Mandy, and the news sparked heated discussions. Zhang Lan has not updated her schedule, making people curious about her reaction to the news. According to the latest Douyin update, Zhang Lan has gone to Sydney, Australia, and may need time to respond. News headline: the 4 zodiac signs are likely to get stuck in the yin during the Qingming festival. Numerologist: rat and snake are the 3 places not to go. Release time: March 28, 2024. Data reference: China Times News Network. News focus: Xiaoming, a teacher who specializes in tarot studies during Qingming festival, pointed out that people born in the year of rat, snake, monkey, and pig are born with yin. They should avoid going to damp mountains, seaside, dense woods, or dirty places to avoid getting stuck in yin qi, causing physical and mental discomfort. Rats and snakes like dark and humid environments, monkeys live in dense forests, and pigs are prone to dirty environments. Therefore, special attention must be paid to the activity areas during the Qingming period to keep them clean and avoid the influence of yin qi. News headline: Blue camp celebrities are running for both sides of the Taiwan Strait. Ma Yingzhu fights for the second meeting of Ma Yingzhu and Xi Jinping. It is said that Wang Jinping will also go at this time. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Zhongtian News. News highlights: former President Ma Yingzhu will visit mainland China in April and may meet with Xi Jinping for the second time. Wang Jinping and Li Qianlong plan to visit mainland China in May. There was speculation that another high-level political figure would make a relay visit or meet with Xi. Rumors pointed to Annette, but she clarified that she had no such plans. News headline: will the 3 electricity price increases in 3 years have much impact? Street vendors are angry. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Zhongtian News. News highlights: Taipower has raised electricity prices by 11% since April 1. This is the 3rd consecutive year of price increases by the Tsai administration, causing public dissatisfaction. The Ministry of Economic Affairs responded with humor to put out the fire. Taking bakeries as an example, it only increased by 2 yuan per day. It also launched a new picture card: no need to bake bread in the middle of the night, which can save 40,000 yuan in electricity bills per year. The stall holders angrily accused the government of wrong energy policies and the need to improve the problem of insufficient power supply. News headline: Tsai Yen-ming, booming development is the epitome of cross-strait economic cooperation. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Zhongtian News. News highlights: Want Group held a 30th anniversary celebration in Jinan, Shandong. Cai Yanming said that Want witnessed the results of 30 years of cross-strait talks and called on Taiwanese young people to go west to the mainland to create markets. Activities include climbing to the top of Mount Tai, industrial cooperation promotion meetings, etc. to showcase the group's development achievements. Cai Yanming emphasized that 30 years of development is the epitome of cross-strait economic cooperation and cultural exchanges, and encouraged young people to use the mainland market to create the future. News headline: 3 mainland siblings were poisoned after eating kwai tiao. A 6-year-old boy suffered convulsions and fell into coma. The toxin invaded the internal organs caused by zymomycin and he died in the hospital. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Zhongtian News. News highlights: A food poisoning case broke out at the Bailin Tea House vegetarian restaurant in Yuanbei Xinyi, Taipei City. It was initially presumed that the cause was caused by rice fermentation acid. 2 people died and many people were sent to hospital. Similarly, in the 2020 stone rice roll incident in Jiayang City, Guangdong Province, 11 people died and 10 were injured after eating it. The victims suffered from vomiting, diarrhea and other symptoms, and one of them, a 6-year-old boy, died unfortunately. Experts confirmed that it was rice fermentation acid poisoning. The Market Supervision Department called for attention to food safety. If symptoms of poisoning occur, you should seek medical treatment in time. News headline: 25-year-old actress died due to suspected bullying. The theater company admitted and publicly apologized. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Dongsan News. News highlights: the 25-year-old Takarazuka opera troupe actress Aoi Kii was bullied and fell from a building to commit suicide. The family of the deceased revealed 14 types of harassment by the superiors of the troupe. The president of the troupe, Kazuo Keiku, apologized and paid compensation, and 6 of the 10 bullies apologized for an undisclosed amount. Investigations show that long working hours and power-based harassment have led to tragedies, affecting theater companies, with this year's admissions competition rate being the lowest in 20 years. Experts call for attention to mental health and to be wary of bullying. News headline: the Gold Store state-owned enterprise Gold Store collapsed. Mainland residents' losses amounted to NT $1.7 billion. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Dongsan News. News highlights: the gold investment market in mainland China has suffered a setback recently. State-owned enterprises and central enterprise franchise stores suddenly closed down, affecting thousands of people and amounting to NT $1.7 billion. Victims cannot seek recourse for what was done by the franchise store. In addition to offline stores, there are also risks in buying gold online, as some products are actually brass. Mainland media exposed multiple gold fraud cases and called on investors to be more vigilant. News headline: Chef Bailin brewed 2 people to death in 8 days as substitute. Nothing unusual happened on March 20. Prosecutors pursue the mystery. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Dongsan News. News highlights: in the Bailin Tea House poisoning case, the chef responsible for preparing the meals was investigated and sent to court. He originally worked at the Bailin Taipei Station branch, but he went to the department store for 8 days as a substitute, but it led to tragedy. The prosecutor's investigation found that only number 20 had no abnormalities during the shift period, and the cause of the poisoning has not yet been determined. The chef involved is Vietnamese and will face criminal penalties under the Food Safety Act, and the prosecutors will further investigate the store manager and owner. News title: Western Lin Xianming talks about management. I am a lazy CEO. I have less time to think in meetings. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: Western Chairman Lin Xianming received an honorary doctorate from National Yangming Jiaotong University. He emphasized that success mindset includes sincerity, enthusiasm, humility, and altruism. Although he laughs at himself for not being a good student, he cultivated the life values of circle on the outside and square on the inside during his college years. He doesn't hold meetings often, but uses the time he saves to think, which has become the key to Western's continued development. Lin Xianming suggested that young people who want to become business operators should participate in more clubs and cultivate interpersonal relationships, and emphasized that the combination of technology and humanities is crucial to success. News headline: Secret to Success, Study shows teamwork mentality increases productivity. Release time: March 22, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: Ali Abdul noted that a competitive mentality is common in medical school, but he found new perspectives through collaboration with peers. He cites research by Stanford University professors that suggests a peer mentality can improve team effectiveness. Studies have shown that subjects who were told that the cues came from their peers solved problems 48% faster. This way of thinking makes people feel supported by their team and increases motivation and productivity. News headline: Which ETF should I track? Financial management expert: Young people and retirees make different choices. Release time: February 21, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, the diversity of ETFs increases investors' choices, but also creates selection difficulties. Young people should choose market tracking ETFs for long-term stable returns. Retired people can consider high dividend ETFs to obtain stable cash income. Investors should give priority to ETFs that track developed country indices, such as Taiwan 50, S&P 500, etc., to ensure the safety and soundness of their investments. News title, Insight into Needs and Provide Sensible Financial Services. Far East Commercial Bank introduces SAS via analysis platform to improve cross-sale winning rate. Release time, March 25, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, Far East Bank takes the lead in integrating data and AI, and cooperates with SAS to launch an AI assistance plan. From data exploration to precise marketing, the SAS via platform improves efficiency and continuously optimizes models. Far East Bank takes Far East Bank's 10 Joys as its core value, designs personalized solutions based on the customer life cycle, and demonstrates differentiated services. In the future, we will continue to innovate, create ever-growing AI models, and provide more innovative services that are close to customer needs. News headline, How to use small talk to gain points for yourself before the interview. Release time, September 9, 2023. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, during pre-interview small talk, it's crucial to show relatability and a positive attitude. Avoid complaining, keep a positive attitude, and share light-hearted topics. Prepare concise but interesting answers to common questions like weekend plans or the weather, and also take the initiative to ask the interviewer questions. Interactions like this help create a good first impression, paving the way for subsequent interviews. News headline, 514 people were poisoned by Vietnamese bread at Zhongzhen Market. The person in charge, surnamed Nguyen, was prosecuted for violating the food safety law. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Yahoo News. News highlights, in August last year, a food poisoning incident broke out at the Ajin Vietnamese French bread at Zongli Market in Dao Nguyen. 514 people became ill and tests showed that the bread contained Salmonella and Opuntia bacteria. The owner of the store, surnamed Ruan, has reached a settlement with 283 victims, paying compensation of NT $2,244,551. The prosecutor initiated a public prosecution in accordance with the Food Safety and Hygiene Management Act and recommended that the court consider the settlement situation and impose a penalty. News headline, Too many people have made mistakes. How to use cling film 1, toxins may be in your stomach. The non-toxic godmother reveals the shocking truth. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Yahoo News. News highlight, when storing food in the refrigerator, Tan Dunsai recommends that the space should not exceed 70% to ensure the circulation of cold air and improve the preservation effect. She shared 4 tips for organizing the refrigerator: use crisper boxes to separate ingredients, organize sauce bottles and jars to save space, clean out expired ingredients regularly, and avoid direct contact between plastic wrap and food to reduce the release of plasticizers. News headline, Women's back skin made into a human skin book sparks controversy. After 90 years of collection in the Harvard Library, the school decided to remove the cover. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Yahoo News. News highlights, Harvard University announced that it will remove the human skin cover of the book The Destiny of the Soul out of humanitarian considerations. The 19th century French book had been in the Houghton Library since the 1930s, and it was only discovered in 2014 that the cover was made of human skin. The book was produced by Blanc, a French doctor who removed the skin of a deceased female patient without her consent. Harvard will handle the woman's remains in a respectful manner and seek to restore her dignity. News headline, A lady tripped over a power cord and fell while visiting Sogo. The compensation amount for a lady painter's ruptured meniscus was revealed. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Yahoo News. News highlight, lady painter Ho Quixing tripped over a makeshift power cord at Taipei Sogo department store 6 years ago, causing a ruptured meniscus in her knee. She sought compensation from the department store for more than 7.39 million yuan. The Supreme Court ruled that Sogo and the construction employees should jointly and severally pay 952,855 yuan in compensation, and the department store should pay another 476,728 yuan in punitive damages, for a total of 1,429,583 yuan. The court found that the department store was at fault for the accident due to failure to warn and improper construction. However, Ho Quixing was also partially at fault, and the amount of compensation was determined after recalculation. News headline, Ariel was caught playing Douyin with the filter turned on too high. The goddess turned into a plastic man was so scared that she died online. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Yahoo News. News highlights, Ariel's use of filters after joining Douyin caused criticism from netizens. She responded that she only used beauty filters during live broadcasts without makeup, and netizens also gave understanding and support. Ariel's straightforward attitude was appreciated, with fans praising her natural beauty and cuteness. In addition, she also mentioned taking care of her daughter, showing the actress's attitude towards balancing work and family. News headline, Red Ball Project appears in Tainan. Unlock the exhibition time, location, highlights and discounts at once. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, the Red Sphere Project is a global street art project initiated by American artist Kurt Pershka, which uses giant red spheres with a diameter of 4.5 meters to travel around the city. During the exhibition in Tainan, it will be displayed in 10 locations for 10 days. Each exhibition location is located at important historical sites and streets and alleys in Tainan, and will be coordinated with related activities to stimulate the public's interest in the city's history. In addition, Tainan Jingying Hotel and Just Sleep Tainan Hushan provide special Red Ball-themed rooms, as well as Red Ball-themed cuisine and party activities, allowing the public to deeply experience the charm of the Red Ball. News headline, 5 major amusement parks offer 10 yuan ticket discount for Children's Day 2024, painless play during the Qingming Festival. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, during the Children's Tomb Sweeping Day holiday in 2024, Taiwan's 5 major theme parks have launched discounts. Liafu Village offers free admission for children under 6 years old and special prices for school children. The Formosan Aboriginal Cultural Village has the Purple Love Lavender Flower Season event. Libao Land holds Libao Children's Club and Moonlight ticket discounts for 2 people. Janfusion World launches ID cards. Special discounts are available for pairing tickets and children's amusement facilities. Ida Amusement World offers discounts for 2 people traveling together. In addition to the park, nearby attractions such as Guangzhou Old Street, Sun Moon Lake, Libao Outlet Mall, Rush Cultural Center and Kaohsiung Love River are also worth visiting. News headline, the top 10 renting is worse than buying areas in Taiwan are revealed. This county and city account for half of Taichung District 2 on the list. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, the central bank raised interest rates without warning last week, and landlords immediately reported that they wanted to raise rents, leaving renters helpless. The government froze interest rates on zinking and mortgages, and home buyers breathed a sigh of relief. According to the 591 real price registration, the 5 districts of Tainan City have become the top 10 renting is worse than buying administrative districts in the 7 cities. The rents in Rend, Enping, and Qianhan are 7,000 yuan higher than the mortgage loan. The rents in Yongkang and Central and Western districts are also higher than the mortgage. Wuyoqi and Dali in Taichung are on the list. Wuyoqi has dense new housing and Dali has good living functions. Guanyin, Zhejiang, and Qianjin have many job opportunities and high rents, but with house prices below 7 million yuan, they are still suitable for buying a house. News headline, the Dujin underground section of the new Taipei Forest Line is expected to be completed in 2031. You can transfer to Line 3 and save half an hour on your commute. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, construction of the CQ880A section of the Dujin underground section of the new Taipei Shulin Line, the second of the new Taipei MRT's 3rd ring and 6 lines, has started. New Taipei City Mayor Hou Yuyi and Taipei City Vice Mayor Lin Yuhua led the construction team at the Jinchinch Road Section 3 MRT construction site to pray for a smooth completion. The new Taipei Shulin Line is expected to be completed in 2031, which will shorten the commuting time for residents to and from the core of Shuangbei City, and will allow residents to transfer to 3 MRT lines, improving the convenience of taking the MRT. This section of the project is 2.84 kilometers long, with a total of 2 underground stations and 3 sections of hidden shield tunnels, connecting Dujin, Shulin and Xinzhuang in New Taipei City, strengthening the New Taipei MRT road network. News headline, Ma Ying-je's second meeting with Xi Jinping is planned? Scholars share observations. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, former President Ma Ying-je will visit mainland China in April. It is rumored that he may meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping, but it has not been confirmed yet. Ma Ying-je mainly focuses on students from the Daju Academy and emphasizes cross-strait youth exchanges. This move is expected to start during the Tomb Sweeping Day holiday, which is similar to the same period last year. Experts pointed out that Beijing may want to influence Taiwan's political situation through this move, but it may also just be communication and interaction. However, if the meeting fails to take place, it will affect the cross-strait policies of the Pan-Blue camp. News headline, 00940 ETF will be listed, and rumors of brokerage dumping are flying. 5 points explaining Yuanta investment letter. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, Yuanta Taiwan Value High Interest ETF, 00940, has sparked a craze since the subscription period, with the amount raised reaching 175.2 billion yuan, setting a new high in the history of ETFs. Investors' strong demand for high-dividend ETFs stems from factors such as the increase in the proportion of Taiwan's population over 65 years old and the shift in investment preferences to domestic funds. Taiwan stock high-dividend ETFs are favored, and the average dividend yield of Taiwan stocks is higher than that of the world, making it the preferred choice of investors. In addition, the demand for monthly dividend ETFs has increased, and petty bourgeoisie prefer products with stable cash flow, driving up the growth of ETFs. The 175.2 billion yuan raised Indiana 00940 has limited impact on Taiwan stocks. Market makers are not dumping stocks, but adjusting net worth. News headline, Happy Youth Day. Survey, the financial situation of office workers under the age of 39 has deteriorated, and the proportion of people with zero savings has hit a 6-year high. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, according to the latest survey by YES123 job search website, the financial pressure of young workers under the age of 39 has intensified. More than 35% of young workers are unable to cope with sudden unemployment. The average deposit is 136,000 yuan, but the proportion of people with zero deposits has increased year by year to 23.2%. 73% have debts, mainly due to student loans, credit card debts, etc. The survey covered 1,322 valid questionnaires, showing that the economic pressure on young workers continues to increase. News headline, exclusive interview with He Xiaochuan. Yongfeng Yu is moving towards net zero emissions, carbon negativity is more critical. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, Taiwanese companies are actively seeking carbon rights in response to carbon emission needs. He Xiaochuan, president of Yongfeng Yu College, pointed out that biocar is crucial to carbon reduction. The pulp and paper industry is already a carbon store, and he advocates including biocar in calculations to achieve a negative carbon effect. The company has also joined the Global Renewable Energy Initiative and set a goal of fully using renewable energy by 2040 to contribute to Taiwan's move towards net zero emissions. News headline, Do you remember him? Tank's hit song Exclusive Angel faded out due to heart disease, recent news revealed. Release time, March 29, 2024. Information reference, TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights, singer Tank will hold the About Love and Courage, Start Again tour in Taipei and Kaohsiung in June. This will also be his first concert in Taiwan after 5 years. Despite suffering from heart health problems, he attracted attention when he appeared on a mainland singing show in 2023 and showed off his outstanding singing voice. Tank said that his physical condition is currently good and he looks forward to sharing many golden songs with his fans. He also announced that he will sing songs from the new album, which will definitely bring him full of memories and emotions. News headline, Mercury retrograde is fierce. The 5 zodiac signs disaster-ridden were hit hard, and Aries was the most miserable. Release time, March 29, 2024. Information reference, TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News focus, during Mercury retrograde, Sagittarius faces difficulties in investment and trading, feels pressure and anxiety, and increases investment losses. Cancer's career performance is poor and communication is difficult, so they need to deal with it in a low-key manner. Pisces has poor money luck and short-circuited thinking, so they should be careful about their words and deeds at work. Taurus worries increase and their performance is affected, so they need to pay attention to communication and expression. Aries, on the other hand, faces the impact of overall fortune, has inconsistent attitudes, and fragile interpersonal relationships, so they should avoid inconsistent words and deeds. News headline, 62-year-old Andy Lau collapsed. Head full of white hair, old appearance goes viral. Netizens feel distressed, too much effort. Release time, March 29, 2024. Information reference, TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights, Hong Kong King Andy Lau was widely circulated by netizens with a photo of his old appearance, wearing reading glasses and with a head full of white hair, which aroused discussion. The 62-year-old has been busy with his acting career for many years. Although he looks old, he actually pretends to be old for the new film The Unknown 2. Netizens lamented that the 4 kings are all old, but they praised his professionalism and thought he worked too hard. News headline, We were sent to Italy together? Domino's launches half pineapple pizza, it looks better and tastes better than the one next door. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, China Television News. News highlights: Pizza Hut's Cheese Heart Double Cake Turtle Pizza and the upcoming Chicken Snake Circle have aroused heated discussions, but many employees complained that the new products launched by the R&D department were unsatisfactory, thinking that these ideas may have been obsessed. In contrast, Domino's infuriating Italian pizza launched on April Fool's Day specifically claimed to be better looking and more delicious than its competitors, which attracted many happy responses from netizens, making this April Fool's Day competition among pizza companies even more intense. News headline: Tank is back. After disappearing for nearly 10 years due to health reasons, it was revealed that he will return to Taiwan to start singing in June. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlights: well-known singer Tank announced that it will hold concerts in Kaohsiung and Taipei in June, and music fans are eagerly anticipating it. He was once a hit with many love songs. He retired from the entertainment industry for nearly 10 years due to health reasons, but made a strong comeback in 2020 and once again set off a craze. This concert will bring many classic songs to relive the memories of youth. Tank revealed that they will sing the idol drama OST and new album songs, making music fans excited. He also expressed excitement that he has not held a large-scale performance in his hometown in the past 5 years, and this return to his hometown stage will be a rare highlight. News headline: accompanying everyone for 20 years, Chunghwa Telecom announced, shutting down 3G services before the end of June. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlights: Chunghwa Telecom announced today that it will shut down its 3G network that has been in service for about 20 years before June 30 and transfer it to 5G to improve frequency resource utilization efficiency and provide a better mobile internet experience and better sound quality. Volte Voice Service. Through public-private collaboration, we encourage the public to replace terminal equipment that supports Volte, smoothly promote the smooth exit of 3G, and move towards the era of low-carbon, high-speed broadband communications. Chunghwa Telecom pointed out that it has promoted Volte services since 2017 and actively built 4G and 5G high-quality networks to provide users with a good experience. In order to protect the rights and interests of users, we provide multiple rates and purchase discounts to help users upgrade smoothly. News headline: Can threads not be brittle? After being criticized, Su Meng issued an apology. I didn't mean to quarrel. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlights: artist Su Meng caused controversy when he pointed out on social platforms that threads should be pronounced correctly. He apologized today, saying that he was negligent and did not mean to quarrel with others. Su Meng explained his personal habits, but respected everyone's opinions. Despite the heated debate, he still insisted on expressing his personal views. The apology post once again sparked heated discussions. Some netizens believed that the words hurt feelings and suggested being more direct and not talking about unnecessary things. News headline: Famine intensifies in Gaza. UN court orders Israel to open the border to release supplies. Release time: March 29, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: the United Nations Supreme Court orders Israel to open its Gaza border to allow unhindered access to supplies to address the famine crisis in the Gaza Strip. However, Israel accuses the United Nations and aid organizations of failing to deliver the goods and says most of the supplies fall into the hands of Hamas. While the order has the force of law, the Israeli government still needs to cooperate to improve the plight of Gaza residents. The growing international pressure on Israel suggests that life may no longer be so easy for Israel. News headline: Quanta leads the way and rises above 20,000 points. Experts reveal Taiwan dollar depreciation next week. Pay attention to this type of stocks. Release time: March 29, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: Taiwan stocks rose 147 points today, closing at 20,294 points. Honhai and Quanta led the market rebound. Analysts pointed to financial stocks as supporting the stock market, but OTC trading volume fell. Next week, we need to pay attention to strong groups, including copper foil substrate stocks with low base periods, equipment stocks, and EDs group. The depreciation of the Taiwan dollar is confirmed, which may affect the inflow of hot money. The 520 market focuses on non-electronic groups, such as biotechnology, military industry, and electric power and energy stocks. News headline: Bail case plus 3 cases in North City. One person's brain lesions are worsening. Health Bureau: an expert meeting will be held next week. Release time: March 29, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: a food poisoning case at Bail Tea House in Taipei City resulted in 14 victims, 2 of whom died. The Ministry of Health and Welfare revealed that the deceased had tested positive for rice fermentation acid. The Health Bureau will convene an expert meeting to increase inspection capacity and establish a pollen tea house food poisoning zone to provide the latest information. 3 newly reported cases have returned home to recuperate, but 4 cases are still under observation in the intensive care unit. The Health Bureau stated that it would discuss with scholars how to avoid exposure to toxins, emphasized openness and transparency in food safety, and set up a special area to reassure citizens. News headline: Why did Taiwan not have rice fermentation acid before? The poison doctor smiled bitterly. There is no way to explain it. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: China Times News Network. News highlights: The rare case of death caused by rice fermentation acid in Taiwan is shocking. Yan Zonghai said that he could not explain this sudden situation. This toxin has never been heard of in Taiwan before. Similar to the outbreak of COVID-19, it is difficult for the world to know the exact source. As the second deceased person tested positive, Yan Zonghai suggested that other patients should be tested immediately, and standard operating procedures should be formulated for reference by operators to strengthen food safety measures. News headline: Can you still eat food if it falls to the ground for 3 seconds? Doctors reveal hidden traps and solve 6 major food safety myths. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: China Times News Network. News highlights: Food safety issues have attracted widespread attention recently. Dr. Li Shengqian from Liangzhen International Hospital compiled 6 common food safety myths. Among them, food can be eaten within 3 seconds after it falls on the floor was clarified as an error, because even if it falls on the floor for a short time, it will be contaminated with bacteria. Other myths include that food poisoning does not necessarily come from the last food eaten and that microwaves do not kill germs. The Food and Drug Administration also reminds that food dropped on the ground may be contaminated with pathogenic bacteria regardless of the length of time, which may cause food poisoning after ingestion, so be extra careful. News headline: It's best to boil egg yolks until hard before eating. Doctor reveals 5 symptoms of food poisoning. Don't delay if you have diarrhea more than 6 times. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News Network. News focus: The Bailin Tea House food poisoning incident has attracted attention. Pediatrician Lin Zioki reminds that food poisoning may lead to serious consequences such as dehydration and acute renal failure. You need to be alert to the following 5 symptoms: diarrhea, vomiting or blood in the stool more than 6 times in 24 hours, fever that lasts for more than 1 day, severe abdominal pain, and signs of dehydration. Ways to avoid food poisoning include washing hands frequently, making sure food is cooked, not leaving food out for long periods of time, avoiding mixing raw and cooked food, and not drinking unpasteurized milk. Pay attention to the storage time and conditions of food to avoid food spoilage. News headline: Shocking news of Tamkang University falling from a building. A 23-year-old female college student fell from the 9th floor and died of serious injuries. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News Network. News highlights: Yesterday, a tragedy occurred at Tamkang University in New Taipei City. A 23-year-old female student surnamed Jo fell to her death in front of the business administration building. The police rushed to the scene after receiving the report and found that she had no signs of life. First aid was ineffective. The female student, who was studying in the 3rd year of the history department, walked alone to the 9th floor of the business administration building that morning and fell accidentally. The police have initially ruled out external intervention, and the cause of the fall remains to be clarified through further investigation. News headline: Mercury retrograde is fierce. The 5 zodiac signs disaster-ridden were hit hard, and Aries was the most miserable. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News Network. News focus: The second wave of Mercury retrograde in 2024 is about to hit, and will continue to affect from April 1 to April 25. Numerology experts pointed out that Sagittarius, Cancer, Pisces, Taurus, and Aries will be the first to bear the brunt, and their performance in all aspects will be hit hard. In particular, the investment and trading of Sagittarius, the career performance of Cancer, the financial fortune of Pisces, the self-expression of Taurus and the overall fortune of Aries will be affected. It is recommended that people of related zodiac signs keep a low profile and deal with it cautiously to avoid causing unnecessary trouble. News headline: The post office has distributed money. Students and parents are happy to receive up to 3,000 yuan. I feel heartbroken if I miss it. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News Network. News highlights: Changhua Post announced that it will accept scholarship applications for children of postal life insurance policy holders in 2024 starting from April 1, with amounts ranging from 1,000 to 3,000 yuan, and a total of 3,000 places are available. Qualified students can apply, including junior high school, college, and graduate students with an overall average score of 80 or above. The admission list will be announced through a lottery, and gifts will be given to those who are not admitted. For details, please check online or contact the Chunghwa Post Customer Service Hotline. News headline: Bizarre car accident on National Highway. The driver hit the guardrail and fell into the Keelung River. He was rescued and died. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: A car accident occurred at the exit ramp of the embankment 19 km north of the National Highway No. 1 elevated highway. A passenger car first hit the guardrail and then fell into the Keelung River. The police and firefighters launched a search and rescue operation and found the vehicle a day later. After hoisting operations, they found that the driver had no signs of life. The vehicle was severely deformed and the airbags exploded. The family members were heartbroken. At the time of the incident, the driver surnamed Cai was driving through the area and hit the guardrail for unknown reasons. After the police salvaged the vehicle, they discovered that the driver had been killed. The family hopes that the police will investigate the cause of the accident and clarify the truth. News headline: Nanako Matsushima and her husband Takashi Soraimaki return for a special episode of Male Teacher GTO Resurrection. 23 years of long-distance love between couples, the secret of getting along with each other becomes sweeter as they fall in love. Release time: March 28, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: The special episode of GTO Resurrection of Spicy Teacher will be broadcast on April 1. Takashi Soraimaki and Nanako Matsushima will star in the same frame again, breaking the taboo of cooperation between the two for 26 years. Matsushima expressed his sympathy for Onizuka Ikaki's character and looked forward to the depth of the character. In the play, she plays Winter Moon Azusa, who changes her career to become a stewardess, and she is still beautiful and elegant. This special episode also attracted the return of the student actors from the 1998 version. The story revolves around Onizuka going to teach at the private Sotoka College, getting involved in the school's internet celebrity controversy, and joining a new batch of student actors. News headline: Lee Kiana gave birth. Happy to show off my son's little feet, thank you for coming. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Ida Day Starlight Cloud. News highlights: Actor Lee Kiana and her husband Hwang Shanghi welcomed their son. Lee Kiana showed off her son's little feet on the social platform and said emotionally, "Thank you for coming into our lives and letting us know that love is more than we imagined." More. Hwang Shanghi and Lee Kiana expressed through their agency that their mother and son are safe. They need time to recover stably and the family is working hard to make progress. News headline: Han Shaoxi once again criticized Hyori, what's so interesting about it? The company apologized. Korean media, no position to express. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Ida Day Starlight Cloud. News highlights: The relationship dispute between South Korean goddess Han Shaoxi and Ryu Junyol has once again attracted attention. Han Shaoxi once again made angry remarks about her ex-boyfriend Hyori's remarks, questioning her so-called interesting. Her company responded that it had no position to express. Han Shaoxi once caused controversy due to her relationship issues. She spoke out again this time, arousing heated discussions among netizens. News headline: Is it poisonous to bring overnight vegetables to lunch? What to do if you need to use overnight rice for fried rice? Tan Dunsai answers 10 major questions. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Health 2.0. News highlights: The food poisoning incident at Bailin Tea House raises concerns about overnight food safety. Tan Dunsai, a nurse at the toxicology department of Ling Kao Chonggung Memorial Hospital, said that overnight food can be packed in lunch boxes, but it is necessary to avoid storing it at dangerous temperatures of 7 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius and refrigerate it as soon as possible to reduce the growth of bacteria. Tan Dunsai also answered 10 frequently asked questions about food poisoning, including how to deal with overnight dishes, fried rice, refrigerated food, etc., reminding everyone to pay attention to food safety and follow the principles of food preservation to avoid food poisoning. News headline: New progress in Bailin poisoning case. 2 people who died and 6 people who were seriously ill were all found to have zymomycin. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Health 2.0. News highlights: The Bailin Tea House poisoning case has attracted great attention. Rice fermentation acid has been confirmed to be the cause of the poisoning. A total of 2 people died and 6 hospitalized patients tested positive. 19 samples from tea houses and suppliers including Qitiao, pandan leaves, and rice noodles were all negative, and other seasonings are being tested one after another. Among the total 21 poisoning cases, most of them were middle-aged people aged 20 to 50 years old. 6 of them were hospitalized for treatment, and the remaining 13 people have returned home to recuperate, 5 of whom are in the intensive care unit. News headline: Be careful when sleeping with your mouth open. I have high blood pressure and frequent urination. Should I wear a respirator or undergo surgery? Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Health 2.0. News highlight, sleep apnea is a common sleep disorder, but its prevalence is underestimated. Factors such as obesity and aging can easily lead to respiratory obstruction and respiratory arrest. Symptoms include snoring, decreased sleep quality, daytime sleepiness, high blood pressure, and frequent urination at night. Treatment options include weight loss, braces, positive pressure respirators, and surgery, with weight loss being crucial for obese people. Surgical treatments include tonsillectomy, tongue base reduction, etc., which can effectively improve symptoms and improve sleep quality. News headline, is it enough to receive the inheritance directly? 3 tax payment situations you must know. Release time, March 29, 2024. Information reference, Shangzhou Fortune Network. News highlights, according to the tax law, the deceased must declare the estate within 6 months after his death, and pay the estate tax within 2 months after receiving the tax assessment notice. If the inheritance tax has not been paid in full, the estate may not be divided, bequests made, or transfers registered. If the tax amount exceeds 300,000 yuan and it is difficult to pay in cash, real estate can be used to offset the inheritance tax, which requires the consent of all heirs or a majority decision. Ways to offset the debt include using the deceased's deposits, providing guarantees to sell part of the estate in advance, or applying to use real estate to offset the debt before the deadline. When real estate is mortgaged, the market value may be higher than the assessed value, resulting in losses. Therefore, reasonable planning of insurance beneficiaries and reserved tax sources are important measures. News headline, none of the rich people selected by Forbes is overweight. The biggest difference between rich people and ordinary people is that they can control their pleasure instinct. Release time, March 29, 2024. Information reference, Shangzhou Fortune Network. News highlights, at the Stanford Nursery Laboratory, Dr. Michelle hypotheses, one of the keys to success in life is the ability to suppress the hedonic instinct in the moment. Through an experiment, he found that among a group of 4-year-old children, those who were able to suppress their hedonic instincts achieved better academic performance and economic success in the future. In addition, rich people are not as luxurious as they imagine. Most of them are thrifty middle-class people who save 25% to 50% of their income instead of spending extravagantly. Ultimately, successful people enjoy long-term financial freedom because they are able to suppress their hedonic instincts in the moment and are willing to make sacrifices. Therefore, self-control is a must for successful people. News headline, Japan's Kobayashi Pharmaceutical red yeast rice found an unknown substance is it? Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare confirms, extremely toxic. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Sanli News Network. News highlights, Japanese major manufacturer Kobayashi Pharmaceuticals nutritional supplements containing red yeast rice have recently been exposed to reports of kidney disease problems after some people consumed them. The Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare confirmed that an unknown substance called penicillinic acid was detected in these products, which is extremely toxic. Penicillinic acid, a natural compound derived from penicillium, has been reported to have antibiotic properties, but whether it has any effect on the kidneys is unknown. Kobayashi Pharmaceutical has confirmed that only a specific batch of products contains the substance, but it has not yet determined whether it is the cause of harm to humans and will further evaluate it through animal experiments and other methods. News headline, Xia Kelly filed a garbage lawsuit. Does Hekong appeared for the first time and vomited 15 words in response and accidentally pulled out Wang Xiaofei. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Sanli News Network. News highlights, Does Hekong attended the press conference today with Junior Han Yubang, Guo Yanjun and Green Tea, Lin Jianyang. Regarding Xia Kelly's previous statement that he would sue him for defamation, Does Hekong avoided talking about it and only responded in 15 words, I have not received any notification. This question has been skipped. He even changed the topic and mentioned Wang Xiaofei, asking everyone not to stop talking about it. Asked. Lang Zhujun said afterwards that he had not received any relevant letters and that he trusted the fairness of the judiciary when it came to the legal process and believed that the matter would have a better outcome. Today, Does Hekong also said that he had not received the notice. News headline, Once gave Big S pigeon eggs. Wang Xiaofei gave a big diamond ring to propose to his new girlfriend, and the shocking 7-figure price was revealed. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Sanli News Network. News highlights, after Wang Xiaofei divorced her ex-wife Big S, her relationship with her girlfriend Mandy, a Taiwanese internet celebrity, has been warming up day by day. Recently, Wang Xiaofei not only went to court with Big S, but also expressed her intention to settle in Taiwan during a live broadcast, and planned to live with her girlfriend and family. On the 28th, it was reported that he proposed to Mandy and posted a photo of him wearing a diamond engagement ring for her. It is said that the diamond ring may come from the British jewelry brand Groff and is worth about 700,000 to 1 million yuan. News title, 00940 Constituent Stock Lottery Draw. Evergreen holds 9.32% of the shares and ranks first, with 9 and UMC both on the list. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Sanli News Network. News highlights, Yuan Taiwan Value High Interest ETF, 00940, will be listed next Monday. The position building was completed today, the stock allocation reached 92.44%, and the constituent stocks have been announced. Among them, Evergreen, 2603, holds the highest shareholding, reaching 9.32%, followed by Yuxiang, 3293, and UMC, 2303, accounting for 3.51% and 3.14% respectively. News headline, Balan poisoning case rice fermented acid appears in Taiwan for the first time. Experts point out that this ingredient may be more poisonous than rice noodles. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Zhongqian News Network. News highlights, Hong Dongrong, director of the toxicology department of the hospital affiliated to China Medical University, pointed out that orizomycin is extremely toxic and can be fatal if only 1 to 1.5 mg is ingested. There is currently no antidote. In addition to receiving treatments such as kidney dialysis, blood transfusion, and even liver transplantation, he suggested that patients with liver and kidney failure who have been treated should consider using high-dose antidote for rescue. However, no academic papers have yet confirmed its effectiveness and further research is needed. Rice fermentation acid mainly exists in fermented foods such as dairy products, corn flour, etc. Not every batch of fungus contains it, but unclean handling or improper handling may cause danger. Hong Dongrong recommends that when cooking dried fungus, wash it first and process it within 1 hour after soaking in water to reduce risks. News headline, reports of smoke coming from Bannan Line carriage. It is suspected that a passenger's mobile power supply spontaneously ignited. Beijing's latest response is exposed. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Zhongqian News Network. News highlights, at about 3 p.m. today on the Bannan Line of the Taipei MRT, a fire broke out in a train carriage at Shandao Temple Station, causing passengers to panic. The North City MRT company responded that the cause of the fire was suspected to be overheating of a passenger's mobile power supply. Fortunately, enthusiastic passengers used fire extinguishers to help spray the fire, and no casualties were caused. Beijing said it had arranged for about 500 passengers to take subsequent trains and said the system was operating normally. News headline, Blue and White shouted electricity prices are freezing and rising. The Green Committee raised objections and entered into negotiations between the government and the opposition to freeze it for 1 month. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Zhongqian News Network. News highlights, in response to the discussion and referendum on the Blue and White proposals to immediately stop the comprehensive slow increase, in electricity prices, the Democratic Progressive Party caucus proposed to hand it over to the party caucus for negotiation. If the negotiation is inconclusive, a 1-month freezing period will be entered. The Kuomintang Group advocates an immediate halt to electricity price increases, pointing out that electricity prices have increased by as much as 35% in the past few years, affecting people's livelihood and commodity prices. However, the Democratic Progressive Party group raised objections and submitted the case to negotiations, which may delay the implementation of the new electricity price until after April 1. News headline, winning 1,000 yuan on an invoice cannot be redeemed. He revealed the cause of super vomiting and complained, nothing. Release time, March 29, 2024. Data reference, Zhongqian News Network. News highlights, the winning numbers for the unified invoice from January to February 2013 have been released. A male netizen found that he had won 1,000 yuan, but was shocked to find that the 0 yuan invoice could not be redeemed. He posted an emotional post on Card. He was originally happily waiting to receive his bonus, but he received a notice stating that the invoice amount was 0 yuan and he could not redeem the prize. He felt like he was on a roller coaster. Netizens responded one after another, thanking the reminder and sharing their own experiences. This tragic experience resonates with many people and reminds everyone to keep 1 yuan when redeeming cash in the future to avoid making the same mistake again. News headline, Daejeonmazu tour starts on April 5. Detour routes and temples announced. Xia Yuan Jin, 4 zodiac signs should not miss the opportunity to transit. Release time, March 27, 2024. Data reference, United News Network. News focus, the 2024 Daejeonland Palace Mazu pilgrimage around the border is about to start. It will last for 9 days and 8 nights from April 5 to 14, with a total distance of about 340 kilometers. This traditional activity originated in the 8th year of Yongzheng in the Qing dynasty, 1730, and is held every 12 years. It has experienced many changes and expansions and has now become an important national intangible cultural activity asset. During the circumambulation, believers should abide by the taboos on offering incense, including not touching sacred objects such as mikoshi, parasols, and flags, and avoid robbing the sedan chair. Participants can also hold incense flags to receive blessings from the gods, but do not waste the water and food provided and leave your kindness to those who really need it. People whose zodiac signs are dog, dragon, ox, and rabbit should participate in praying activities, which can especially resolve disasters and bring peace and success. News headline: the deceased in Bailin tea house was still found to have rice fermentation acid after 7 days of rescue. Gao Dachan revealed one possibility, very scary. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: United News Network. News highlights: in the Bailin tea house poisoning case, the forensic autopsy showed that the blood of the deceased contained rice-fermented acid, the first of its kind in China. The director of the Forensic Medicine Department of the affiliated hospital of Sun Yat-sen University pointed out that after the deceased received first aid and yakeme treatment, residual rice fermentation acid was still detected, indicating that he may have ingested a large amount. He called for the source to be quickly identified and the ingredients and seasonings to be checked for contamination. In addition, it is necessary to pay attention to possible infection environments and publicly identify the reasons to avoid similar incidents from happening again. News headline: the culprit of 20 years of menstrual pain has been found. She escaped from the sea of misery by giving up breastfeeding. Drinking ice without pain doesn't hurt. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: United News Network. News highlight: a female netizen shared that the severe menstrual pain problem she had suffered for 20 years was actually caused by milk. After I stopped eating dairy, my menstrual cramps magically disappeared. Not only did she no longer have menstrual pain after quitting breastfeeding, her skin condition also improved, describing this change as a turning point in her life. The post sparked widespread discussion, with many people sharing similar experiences. After quitting breastfeeding, their menstrual pain problems were reduced or even disappeared, and their skin conditions also improved. Such personal experience calls on more people to pay attention to the impact of diet on the body and find a diet that best suits them. News headline: Bailin poisoning case. Ministry of Health and Welfare. No rice fermentation acid was detected in 19 food items including KUEHTO. Release time: March 29, 2024. Information reference: Free Electronic News. News highlights: the Ministry of Health and Welfare confirmed that the poisoning case at Bailin tea house was the first time in China that rice fermentation acid was detected. Extensive testing of food ingredients was conducted, but all results were negative. As of this afternoon, there are a total of 21 related cases, of which 8 severe cases have tested positive. The incident occurred at the same time, place, and restaurant, and there was no sign of spread. There is no need to panic. The Ministry of Health and Welfare will convene an expert meeting to formulate guidelines to stabilize public sentiment. News headline: the trend of going abroad during the Qingming Festival has exploded. Peach Machine recommends that passengers arrive at the airport 3 hours in advance. Release time: March 29, 2024. Information reference: Free Electronic News. News highlights: Darwin Airport Company warned that the Tomb Sweeping Day holiday will be from April 4 to 7, a total of 6 days, with an estimated total traffic volume of 749,000 passengers. It is recommended that passengers arrive at the airport 3 hours in advance when departing, paying special attention to departure times during peak hours. The airport has strengthened transportation measures, including increasing manpower, improving security inspection services, and adjusting flight capacity. Passengers should also pay attention to carrying prohibited or restricted items, and confirm the validity of their passports and whether a visa is required in advance. In addition, the airport company also provides real-time traffic and parking information to facilitate travelers planning their itinerary. News headline: instant noodles beat lipstick and perfume and become a new indicator of economic prosperity. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: want to know if the economy is good? In the past, observing the sales of lipstick and red wine was the way to go, but in recent years due to the impact of the epidemic, the perfume and lipstick index has failed. Instant noodles have become a new indicator because the epidemic has caused people to turn to instant noodles, reflecting the poor economy. The global instant noodle market continues to expand, especially as inflation drives up food prices and the middle class begins to pursue instant noodles as an affordable option. However, the huge sales of instant noodles reflect the downgrade of consumption and may hint at the poor state of the global economy. News headline: bamboo plant confirmed to be closed, laid off 510 people and sold land. Wanping factory is expected to exceed 1 billion. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: Taiwan's licensed Noco hard drive factory in the Hsinchu Science Park announced its closure in October last year. Recently, it officially announced that it would cease operations and plans to sell its factory buildings and machinery and equipment. The factory is located on Zhu Technology 5th Road and covers an area of approximately 13,800 square meters. It will be sold through public auction and has attracted the attention of many major semiconductor, IC design, and electronic component manufacturers. Although the closure of the factory has had a certain impact on Bamboo Branch, the overall number of employees in Bamboo Branch is still showing an increasing trend, indicating that there is no unemployment wave. News headline: Essential for anti-aging, just walk and jog. She lost 27 kilograms by doing ZONE2 exercise and burned fat faster by relaxing. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlight: Zone 2 exercise is known as a fitness method with excellent fat burning effect. Although it does not require high intensity, it can continuously reduce blood sugar, enhance mitochondrial function, and avoid exercise injuries and sleep disturbance. This exercise includes ultra jogging, brisk walking, cycling, etc. It is easy to perform and suitable for all physical abilities. The heart rate zone can be determined through the talking test method, and it is recommended to do it 3 to 4 times a week, 30 minutes each time for beginners, and gradually increase to 45 to 90 minutes. Zone 2 exercise is not only easy to get started, but also helps to shape your body and enjoy a long and healthy life. News headline: Biodiversity is the ultimate ESG tool? Only 18 companies in Taiwan have invested in TNFD. Release time: March 29, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: Taiwanese companies' participation in TNFD is still insufficient, and only a few companies have set biodiversity-related goals. Research by the sustainability think tank shows that only 18 companies have mentioned TNFD, and less than 4% of them have set biodiversity targets. However, TNFD is increasingly important to businesses and countries, as the protection of biodiversity will be key to reaching the 2050 net zero emissions target. Taiwanese companies should speed up their efforts to conduct risk assessments as early as possible and formulate corresponding response measures to keep pace with the global trend of sustainable development.